Streaming. Oh, it's picking a bitch up. I think it started. Has it started already? Why's it started already? Well, apparently it started already.
Are we off, are we?
Oh, apparently we're off. Hold on.
We're live. Oh, we are. I can see it.
It's like, oh, we'll start streaming,
live.
and then it's like, it doesn't give you the, would you like to start the stream now? It's just like...
Yeah, don't fuck about, does it?
Nah, it doesn't take any prisoners. How rude. Just sort of barges in there, you know what I mean?
We're live. We're not even talking to anyone.
I know, yeah.
We're waffling on amongst ourselves. Mind you, there's not many people in it yet, because we haven't even...
Well, there's one. I see one. I see
I'll
two.
tell you what, since this has been a bit of a last minute thing, and I will share that we are live in the...
you're doing the social media part, are you?
Yeah, I'll go into the 40k Orc community. Link in the description below. If you're not a member of it already, come and join. So we might as well get the plug in there now.
Such a plug. I love it.
I'm going to share the fact that we are live right now to this community. So there you go, guys. You can get top info there.
Get your two bald knobs fix. Oh yeah, dirty.
There we are. The bald.
We've got Blood Bowl. We do indeed got Blood Bowl. These are my
live
Blood Bowl orcs. These are like what is it? These green guys are from the core box set. The orcs. You said you had a Blood Bowl team, didn't you, Stevo? You have the.
I do. I have, and I've got it just to hand actually. And this wasn't planned at all. Look at this. Something working for a change. Let me flip to my camera so I can see what you guys can see. Here we are. All right. So I have the. I mean, I call them the Goblin team, but their official name is the Scar Crag Snivellers. These fellas.
And see now, if we had the stream set up properly, I would have done big screen for better. But there you go.
There you go. No worries. But yeah, they look pretty damn cool. I got these. I bought these from Dim at a very competitive price.
Yeah,
God bless him.
Not
just the team, but I also got Goblin secret weapons in there as well. So I've got a few. So I've got a fella with a ball and chain, a fella with a chainsaw, and another fella with a big bomb. So that is cool. The only other thing I probably want to add to the team is a troll, because you don't really want to do a Goblin team without a troll or two. But that will come later down.
I know we're 40k orcs, but speaking of trolls, did you see the new Blood Bowl box set? The one that comes with like the orcs and there's like goblins in it and black orcs and there's a troll.
Yeah, like a mixed team, isn't it? Orcs and goblins.
It's like it's like black orcs and there's like a troll and like it's a different team. It's not these guys here. It's,
there's
more black orcs in it.
I see they do a similar thing. They've got a Skaven and Goblin mixed team as well, haven't they? They got like a
there's some mixed teams, some weird ones.
Yeah, don't know what I feel about that. Pretty cool, I suppose.
So yeah, this stream happened because you were taking the piss in your solo stream the other day, and he's like, "Oh, it better not be last," which had me then thinking of, I best get the last of my 1500 points painted up. So
speaking of which, I better start fucking getting some paint on my fella's here right now.
Picked up. I picked up my list again because I hadn't touched it because I've been either busy with work or doing something else. So I haven't actually touched my 1500 point list since the new edition. I changed it over, and from what I remember, I've lost like 5 commandos and I think 10 looters from my 1500 point list with the points increases. But what you had me then thinking about what I need to paint, so I'll move the Blood Bowl orcs out of the way and I'll put in what I actually need to paint. Like everything else is tabletop standard, you know what I mean? So I have like 5 commandos that are metal. I have Snickera I need to paint. I have the Weird Boy, and then I have I think 1 or 2 knobs that need touching up, and then I've 5 commandos that just need the camo touched up, and that's it. That's like 1500 points. I actually painted more than 1500 points because I painted 30 looters, but there's only 10 in it. So you know, when we go to 2k list, and I plug in 2 more units of 10 looters, I'm sorted. I think I'm like 100 points shy. Once I paint these guys, I'll be 100 points short of 2k. Yeah, and that's all I need to sort of do. I've lost track of what I needed to do, to be honest with you. I thought I had more to do. But when I was watching your stream the other day, I was like, how many miniatures do I actually have painted for this? Because I kept painting them and then putting them back in the box so I wouldn't look at them. You know what I mean?
Without even knowing, I could give you the correct answer. You have less to do than dread.
That's the important thing here.
And possibly less to do than Dim. Dim started off ahead of us, but
he started strong out the gate, but then I think
he was one of the few of us that had a good portion of his army painted.
Yeah, but does it count?
Years ago.
If it's painted beforehand, does it count though? You were giving me stick about the 30 Slugger Chopper boys, and I was like, all right then, I'll paint from new. This is all painted from new since the challenge was, Our televised, there was 30 shooter boys there, but I think I've painted more stuff than was in the challenge. I just painted more of the wrong stuff.
Yeah, but I'm in a similar position to yourself actually, because I've kind of ended up painting more than I needed to. Because I've got my 1500 point list that I'm finishing off now, just these tank busters to go. But as well as what's in my 1500 point list, I have a big gun painted, and another mech gun painted because I had to shave one from the team because of the points changes, a war boss, and a big mech in mega armor. So I've got a little bit more to, that bumps up the points quite a bit. The mega armor, war boss, that's a couple 100 points right there. Mech gun and big gun is around about another 75, 80 points. So yeah, I'm probably with everything I've got painted sitting at about 1750 ish.
Nice.
So yeah, much like yourself, once it's done, I will actually be very close to that 2k. Not that I'll be in any rush to crack on and get to that point though, because I'll have a well-deserved fucking break, I think, and actually start, converting some things and building some things, and getting back to doing some different stuff, rather than just painting solidly all the time.
Well,
and who knows, playing some fucking games again, that'd be nice.
Well, that won't be happening in Ireland anytime soon. We've gone into full lockdown as of midnight tonight for like at least 6 weeks. So, yeah, there won't be any games of 40k anytime soon.
Look at that, he's spending his last moments of freedom with me.
Not with me, missus,
beautiful.
with Stevo.
Beautiful. There you go.
I'm sure she'll be too.
Spending it with his YouTube missus. There you go.
Oh god, love it.
What we got going on in the comments section? Gear Guts is here. Adam Kerr's here. Achievement Hunter's here. Poke Cactus is here. He's making a joke about your knob needing touching up. Never neglect to touch up your knob. Marcus is here. Angus Goodleaf. Dave Dog. Yeah, once your army is complete 6+, Steve, everything else is like an experimental bonus. You'll be like Pink Floyd in the 70s. I will indeed.
You know what I mean? That was part of why I went with the mobs of 30 boys, because I was only saying this to you earlier on today. Like that, they're a core chunk of my collection. You know what I mean? Like blocks of 30 boys.
Yeah, you've really got you like I in terms of troops, I've got a fair bit more to do to like increase the army further. I have minimum for a battalion. I've got 10 boys and 2 squads of 10 grots to fill out my troops. But I have gone for a full dread mob. But yeah, I will continue to bulk them out and add more to them. I've actually another 10 grots I've got started as well. They've got some paint on them, so.
It was strange. Like I enjoyed painting the 30 grots. Like painting the 30 boys was a pain, but like painting 30 grots for some reason I enjoyed. I was like, ah.
I liked painting the grots as well. Actually, I did enjoy painting the grots.
I reckon it's because they're mostly skin. You know what I mean? So once you get the skin down, that's the majority of the model done. They don't have as much stuck on them as the boys do.
And especially since the boys I'm painting, being tank busters and shooter boys, are all pretty much holding guns across their chests. The vast majority of them are anyway, and that can make them a bit more challenging as well. And I haven't done in sub-assemblies or anything, so...
Yeah, no, sub-assemblies on boys is madness. But when you were even talking about, like, there's quite a few key points you were talking about in your stream, and sub-assemblies, looters, for the love of God. Fucking hell.
Yeah, they look like an absolute bitch to paint. I don't envy you on that one, man. I think the only thing in my army that I've done in sub-assembly was the Death Killer War Trike, because you just have to. There's just...
And you were even saying about the buggies. I think you're right. Like, there's some of them where...
I think any of the buggies, really. You, at least to some greater or lesser degree, depending on the buggy, but some of them for sure. But yeah, that Death Killer War Trike, I kept the driver and the war boss and the little grot refueling dude. I kept them off. And I think just the guns that go on the sides as well, because they
cover some detail on the front.
Yeah, they go. Yeah, and they need to go on after the driver gets in there, because they sort of clip over where his feet sitting on the pedals. So yeah, it wasn't too bad in the sub assemblies there. It kind of, you know. But who else we got in here? Hey, Spud's here. Kobe Taylor's here. The only thing I didn't like about the grot kit was that I found it really hard to tell when things end and things start on the casting. Yes,
they're terrible, man. The feet.
Like, a few of them are...
Casting's so bad you're having the paint toes on because they're just not there, like.
yeah, total.
So which were you want?
Yeah, I was finding it hard to see if they were wearing boots or if they just had some like bandage wrapped around their ankles, you know, because some of them have just got like a little sort of foot strap, haven't they? But they don't actually have, they've got to wearing like sandals. There he is. Yeah, those two shotguns either side that you got on there.
I can see what you mean, afterwards. Yeah. But I've left the crew off for now.
Yeah. I left the plates at the front, the guards, those skull mud guards as well. I kept them off as well.
Look, I can understand why, because the guns do cover some detail, but I'll get a brush in there somewhere, you know.
Yeah, it won't be too bad to do. It won't be too bad.
You know your shit.
Yeah, so there's a few bits there, but it's a fact that I must admit I really do like that kit, and I do want to get another one, because while I was building it, I was coming up with all sorts of ideas on how I could convert and kit bash it, and it's probably, of all the buggies, one of the most sort of kit bashable, conversion friendly ones going, I would say.
Yeah. I think the only one
I was halfway through building it, and I was like, that looks like a Deathcopter. Oh, that looks like that. And I'm like, yeah. And I was like,
you could do. I could see it.
I just build it as it is, and then I was like, but yeah, I'm going to buy another one of these.
The wheels off,
have some fun with.
Could do like an engine coming up here or something. Yeah, I could definitely see a lot of potential with it. I think the only one you don't have to do in a sub-assembly is the scrap jet. But even then, I've left the crew member. I haven't glued his torso on. But apart from that, the rest of it you could glue together, no bother really. I mean, there's like a grot that goes into the gunner compartment at the back that I haven't glued in yet. But
I looked in horror the other day at my Blitzer, and for some reason I've glued the grot gunner in. And I've got no idea why I did a stupid thing like that, because that's going to be a cunt now.
Good luck with that on me.
Yeah, I was like, all right, take him out. Hang on, he seems a bit. Oh fuck me! I glued him in. What the fuck did I do that for?
Look, it could be worse. You could have like glued the cockpit in with super glue and frosting.
Then I might as well just throw the thing in the fucking bin. Well, that's that fucked. Yeah, I left the pilot. He's loose in there, but for some reason, I don't know why, but I don't know. It shouldn't be too bad because, it shouldn't be too bad if I just concentrate on painting him up first, and then I can get in at the sides and paint the side bits and paint over all the green that I inevitably splash all over it. I hope you won't be too bad.
Do with it,
yeah, I look forward to painting that up. Actually, I've only used it in game once. It performed quite well, but I do look forward to using it again.
I like the Borna bombers. I just like the idea of dropping napalm on the enemy. as fun. It seems like a very
it's just
blood
a
axe.
bad moon in me. I just saw those big fuck off bombs.
You were too tempted.
Cool.
Yeah, so I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
Look at the bombs on that, lads. Hey!
Yeah, it just looked kind of cool. I love that kit. What an awesome kit!
It is. It's a
really
good kit. It really is. I think they did the smart thing with the flyer kit in that they added another sprue into it, so you end up whichever variant you go for. And I'm sure you could go to town if you want to magnetize stuff, so you can do different variants. But if you pick a variant, you're going to be left with a load of bits, like a lot of DACA bits, a lot of bomb bits. You know what I mean?
Well, a lot of those burner missiles went into these tank busters.
Yeah, man.
A lot of them I made use of on my tank busters for sure. But yeah, there's all sorts of things. You got some turrets in there that are good for like grot tanks and stuff. You got some cool heads, and even the crew in it is pretty cool. Yeah, it's an awesome kit, and I love how you can build the wings differently and the tail fin differently. And like, I looked at the things showing me how to build the Blitz one. I'm like, nah, I'm not building it that way. I'm building it that way. I thought it was all. Had some fun with it.
Yeah, I think with my DACA jet, I think I put like more guns on it than they're supposed to, just for the look. You know what I mean? I think I put the grot turret in the middle as well, because I figured to myself, I was like, they're gonna want all the guns possible pointing forward, but whatever.
Well, I got this vision of on like Indiana Jones when his dad shoots the fucking fin off the back of the biplane.
Yeah.
And so on the Blitzer bomber, usually you got the single fin in the middle. But I was like, no, I don't want that. So I put it like the twin fin from like the booster blaster, whatever it's called, the mech one. I used that tail fin, so it's got two, and he shoots through the middle of it. But I don't know. Then even after building it, I'm like, yeah, but he's still not going to be. If he turns to shoot, he's still going to shoot through the fucking thing. But I'm like, they're orcs. They probably will.
Still clip them.
They've only got a last one turn to drop the bombs, and then.
This is it. So now what it is for me though, I'm at the stage now where I just want to paint one, because I'm thinking of like camouflage schemes I could do. You know what I mean?
Mate, a Blood Axe one will look fucking awesome.
Going to town, like.
Yeah, it will look very cool, Blood Axe one.
Jude.
Hey, sure.
Jude. What are they painting? This is a big Mako custom force field. Stevo's got his tank busters. This is the
slowly
Weird Boy Games Workshop one that some people don't like, but I've always been fond of. This one's
just don't like his grot, mate, with the chain. That's the only bit I don't like.
You don't like the chain?
Because it's very dead straight at an angle where he's holding it. Like, it just doesn't look
it's
right.
supposed to be in a moment of tension, you know what I mean? Quite literally. Yeah. But Dim would be so proud. Boom. If you don't like it, just put a bleeding ball at the end of that. There you go, a bit of weight to it, you know what I mean? Use your imagination, lads.
Buy an alternative one like I did. Can't remember where I got it from now.
Bits I need to prime on him. Oh, look at that sneaky bit in there now. I can't see without getting to a camera. Hold on, we'll get a bit of Ocean Grey in there. You thought you were getting away from me there? Yeah, here you go. Look, bleeding.
Yeah, the Weird Boy himself looks cool. He looks cool as hell. He's a good miniature.
I do enjoy him.
Weird Boys are one of those miniatures that are quite like tank busters. They're fun to make, like big mechs as well. They're fun to make your own, because there's all kinds of different bits and options and stuff out there.
Boy. Maybe that's something that needs to be addressed eventually. I'll tell you something for nothing though. I really enjoyed making my own web. I don't know.
And some knob bits and go to town.
I have to say I'm well chuffed with him and how he turned out. The web.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Lots of fun. He's great. His little respirator. That's what I'm proud of. Me moment. I'm like, I can convert. Oh, Jesus. Kyle's asking, any package yet, Stevo? That's a bit of a personal question.
I got down today, mate. No, mate. No, not yet. No, the postman arrived yesterday with a package, and no, it was for the missus. So yeah, no, nothing yet, because I'm waiting on the package from you, Gear Guts. I'm waiting on a package from Cromlech. So I've seen Big Mech Dan Skull got his Cromlech package. I've seen Scar and Dim get their packages from you, but yeah, nothing for me yet. Postal Service has blacklisted me. I don't know what's going on.
You didn't give the postie, a tip at Christmas last year, was it?
I mean, they're not the best around here. We get other people.
No wonder. Watching your streams, he's like, he's bad mouthing us again, the bastard.
Yeah.
Right. Send it back to senders out. Kyle was saying, yeah, you and Red.
Other people.
Robert Marshall here saying hello. There's quite a few Idic bears here. Necrons and more Necrons. Not anymore. Idic, he sold them off. He sold them off.
Yeah, I sold my Necrons, man.
He's finally seen sense.
Yeah. Well,
think we'll ever get Idic the party?
Leave the Crons to the pro, you know.
This is it. Captain Necron himself.
Who hopefully me and Nick will be getting a battle report on at some point soon. I'm hoping this year. I'm hoping perhaps towards Christmas time. Hopefully, if we're still allowed to travel and stuff, it's pretty good in the south here so far. So hopefully we'll be able to do that and get that on, and I'll be able to do a fully painted bat rep with Nick. Still get my ass handed to me, but at least they'll look good, getting fucking flayed and fucking Tesla'd to fuck.
I'm jealous, man. I keep forgetting I don't live in the UK with you guys. You know what I mean? I mean, like, if you've got any jobs going, Stevo, you know what I mean? Jobs for the bios. It's like, oh, it's always good. I'm sure me missus be too chuffed. Where are you going to live? Oh, we'll live on the south coast near Stevo. Why? Why did you move to the UK? Could you imagine immigration? So where you moved to the UK? Play war games with me mates. You know
where
yourself.
Where all my YouTube mates live.
Yeah, all my YouTube mates live here.
Yeah, it's quite fortunate for me that Nick is he's very local to me, really.
You are lucky in that regard. You aren't too far out.
No, not too far at all. It only takes me about 25 minutes to get to him. So yeah, that is good.
Definitely, I think you looked out there.
Well, I've only made it up to his tomb world a couple of times. That sounded wrong, didn't it? But I shall make more of an effort to try and get down there again. Like I say, now I can turn up with something fully painted, because I think the whole reason, but even before we started the sort of the 4 war bosses all trying to get the equal armies done, I sort of started before you guys, because I was like, after being at Nick's tournament, I was like, right, next year, his next tournament, I'm turning up with 1,000-point army fully painted. And so that's why I'd set the goal at 1,000.
Before Dread got his teeth into it.
Dread came in and was like 1,500, and then there was talk of 2K. I'm like, just fuck off.
Well,
good job
look,
you didn't either.
I'm 100 points shy of 2K after this, so I don't mind if you want to jack it up to 2K, lads. You know what I mean?
Nick says he's building the Silent King for me. I shall look forward to it, mate.
No, we've no problem with that at all. But yeah, I'd like to get a flyer in. But the cheapest flyers are what? They're around the 160, 200 mark, aren't they? Something like that, at least.
Yeah, I can't remember what their points are now in Nightfed. I don't know. I think they're pretty competitively priced. Yeah, they're not that expensive really in comparison to other units and vehicles. And they're good, man. The Orc flyers are good. They're good at what they do. They're kind of a one and done most of the time. They get picked off pretty quickly. But just the sheer maneuverability and distance they can travel, like especially like the burner bomber, blitz bomber, they can get to where they're needed, deliver their payload, and hopefully cause a lot of damage. And then if they get killed, and hopefully you've earned their points back in whatever you've done.
Kill even more stuff.
In the one game I used mine, it worked quite well, because he kind of flew over a load of Terminators and dropped bomb and killed off a few Terminators with mortal wounds and things. So it was pretty nice. I think he earned his points back and then was probably destroyed straight afterwards. And then you've always got the chance that it could crash and burn and take some more shit out with it.
I used the nose dive stratagem, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that existed back then.
I could definitely see that now. But that's it. Like, I don't even know what the story is with that. Like, are we gonna, what's gonna happen with the Orc Codex for 9th edition? What are we gonna see? What's gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like, there's we were talking about our Codex earlier on, and what strong points we have, and I was bringing up the topic of, like, we've a lot of one-trick ponies in our Codex. Like, for instance, the Weird Boy. Like, if they nerf the jump, like, that's gonna be massive.
Yeah, Weird Boy is very much a compulsory pick in pretty much. It's very rare you face off against an Orc army and they don't have a Weird Boy. He's just so good in comparison to the like the War Boss and the Big Mech and everything else. He's so cheap, and the jump is just so crucial to our strategies.
That's what I mean. Like, so imagine like the jump gets nerfed, or you know what I mean. That would be a massive blow because we lean on it. We lean on that. Even that one specific thing in the codex.
We do. We really kind of need it because we're a very we're a glass hammer army, aren't we?
Right. Yeah.
We get shot to shit. Yeah. Once the bullets start firing, we start falling like 9-pins.
Hope we get some nice boost if we're going to be fighting against 2 women space marines. You know what I mean? We need something to pack a bit of punch again. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, be interested. But yeah, I'm in no rush to get it. Yeah, when it comes, and just hopefully it bundles in a lot of the cool stuff that we got in the site. The Psychic Awakening gave us loads of good shit, and we don't want to lose any of that stuff. At the moment, and I haven't really had a chance to use a whole lot of it. I've used bits of it here and there, but because lockdown happened when it all came out,
this is it.
Not had much chance to really experience it. But there is loads and loads of good shit in that Psychic Awakening book that just expands the tactics and the options in our army, and some beautiful buffs in there to make war bosses and big mechs much stronger, and custom jobs for your vehicles, and new stratagems, new psychic powers, just lots and lots of good shit.
Add the goodness in. Marcus was saying silencer is nice. You're right there, Marcus. These are these commandos are the... I'll need to paint the inside of that barrel. But these commandos are the Forge World kit, which is, Jesus, I think it's like 20-something pounds just for heads, backpacks, and a knob. But with different units of commandos. So if you've never seen, if you've never come across me before, hell yeah. If you're just a Stevo subscriber, these are made up of the Commando Forge World kit. So that's a Forge World head. The backpack's Forge World, and then you use a standard boy kit, and then I've just put a bit of plastic card on the sluggers so that they have a bit more character. And then I'll be doing them up in like a grey sort of camo.
It's a very cool kit.
It's cool. It's a bit steep for what it is, and you do get some miscasts. But,
like all Forge World stuff.
Like yeah. As soon as you say the word Forge World, you know.
It's quite nice to have like even if you've got like the standard commando kit, and then you've got them and you mix them in, gives a bit of variety in that.
I do it by unit though. That's the whole thing. It's like, so I'll have like the unit, and it's like 15, and it's the standard commando kit that we currently have, and then I have the older commandos, the second ed ones, and I've enough to make a unit of 15 of them. So you know what I mean. Cool. So I was trying to have some variation in the commandos.
I've always liked that one, that commando knob. He's a great miniature, that one.
With the power claw, yeah, it's cracking.
Yeah, it's a cool pose, and with the grot on his back and everything, very cool miniature. Speaking as a bad moon though, I'm not sure about all this silencer malarkey. What's that? Where's the fun in that?
Look, you won't be laughing when you just take a bullet to the back of the head, like, you know what I mean? It's like, he's dead, he didn't see it coming.
I'll be laughing, you just won't be laughing over all the daka.
What are they shooting at, boss? I don't know. Throw a rock over there and distract them. All right, yeah, no bother.
It'd be like that scene on Predator, wouldn't it? Where they're just shooting blindly into the
yeah. Oh, that's you. That's you when your boys with the Gatling gun just mowing trees down. You know what I mean? Where are they shooting at? It's like Bad Moon Gardening in action. It's like hedge cutters. Nah, mate, Gatling cannon.
Fuck, you know. That is a Bad Moon's fucking wet dream, that is. Yeah, it's got to be loud and noisy and flashy.
Loud and proud, Bad Moons. And while you're distracting the rest of them, we'll sneak around the flank and stab them in the back. Happy days. Good combination. There you go. Good combo. Great crank. Definitely. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I've lots to do, man. And then I've like...
I was fine tuning my list today. I was starting to look at the like the warlord traits and the custom jobs and stuff, because I sort of put the list together, but I hadn't gone into depth of that side of things. So I started properly reading up on some bits and reminding myself of what the various warlord traits and custom jobs do. And I was like, oh, I got some nice little tricks up my sleeve here.
But like, I have the new rulebook. I just haven't really read it yet because I've been busy mucking around with BattleTech and playing that when I had the chance, when I could get games in. Not that that's going to happen anymore. So I'm like, it's totally changed now, the whole command points thing. So I've like one detachment. I think I've won the battalion detachment in my 1500 point army, and it's just a blood axe detachment.
Same as me.
And that's it.
Batman, but same as me, yeah.
Like everything's blood axe, and I give the weird boy, I think I make a warp head, and I give him the blood axe psychic ability as well as the jump. I forget what it's called, but it's the one where...
Same, yeah, that's what I've done. Bad Moon psychic ability and the jump.
Yeah, so they can't do the Overwatch. I
mean, hopefully the other war bosses are doing what we're doing. We're going very fluffy with our armies. We're going very... picking out all the clan-specific traits and stuff.
And units. I have commandos in my army. I do have commandos. You were giving out... I remember saying it to you initially and you were like, there's no commandos in there.
Yeah, what sort of Codex army is that? You've got to have commandos.
I had a lot of firepower. I used to have more looters. But well, what can you do?
And I've got a fuckload of cans.
I mean, I could add Mr. Snippy and somebody knocked him off my desk, so he's taking a bit of a tumble, but I could add it in my old Death Dread, but I think he'd be a bit lonely.
Snappy. He could be lonely, but Snap, Crackle and Pop will keep him company until they chop him up. Three-way.
Here, Jesus, get your mind out of the gutter there, bud. Yeah, no, I think I'd have to just see what can fit me case, because that's a large part of what I've selected for my forces, as well as whatever I can transport in an hard case and, you know, fly internationally eventually when the world comes back to some semblance of normalcy.
Well, what's going to be really interesting and what's going to be really fun is that all four of us have got four very different armies, which is very cool. You've gone for a very traditional horde army, lots of boys, lots of bodies on the ground. You're certainly going to have the numbers advantage against at least two of us anyway. I've gone for the Dread Mob, quite an elite army, mechanized. Dread is also going quite mechanized, but he's going more for tanks, and I think he's got some flyers and stuff in there, but he hasn't quite fine-tuned it yet and worked out his 9th edition points. And then we've got Dim, who's going for the full Grot Mob. I think he's going for a big artillery battery nice. With loads of Grots and a load of Grot tanks, I think. So, yeah, going to be very interesting. You're going to see four different Orc armies, all very fluffy, all very themed. And, yeah, we're going to be having some fun games, I think. It's going to be good times.
I'd say so. I painted up my Grots as Rebel Grots as well for the crack. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, mine aren't rebels, mine are slaves. Mine are wearing their little sort of loincloth slave pants and stuff, and whatever bits they've been, scraps they've managed to cobble together. They're there to fucking collect the teeth and shine up.
Scavenge and Gitz. Someone was asking me what way I paint the skin in the chat there for me orcs. I'll show you now.
Beautiful skin recipe he's got there. Very sort of olive skin tone. I
go with...
we were saying that today as well, weren't we, mate? Saying that it's going to be different because all four of us as well are going to have four completely different skin tones. I mean, they're all going to be green.
Yeah, there'll be varying shades of green.
Different shades, yeah.
Where is it gone? It's
see who turns up with the most impressive tan.
Well, it won't be me, man.
What planet they've been on and what it's done, you know.
Night shifts and Irish. I'm wired in a bleeding milk bottle here over here.
Same, mate. Irish blood in me. I'm exposed most of myself here, you can see.
Am I missing? It's not Castellan green. There's another green I use, and I've misplaced it now. It's one of the camos. Where the hell is it gone? I'm annoyed now. It tells you how long it's been since I've painted some green skin.
Jude says, do they also reload your guns, Steve? Yes, they do. They do whatever I want them to do. They're slaves.
Right, so if you want to get skin that looks like Dems, I do a Deathworld Forest base, then I come in with an Italian camo shade, and then after that it hit it up with a Elysian green highlight. So that's how I paint orc skin. Now if I'm doing knobs, I'll change it up. I'll do knobs and characters. I like to go a bit darker for the base. So Death Core drab, and then I use Deathworld Forest as a highlight, and then if I'm doing an extra highlight I'll use the Elysian green, and then if I'm doing grots I try to use the same greens across them. Do you know what I mean? So grots I'll do different highlights again, so I'll use the final highlight for the orcs as the base colour for the grots, so I'll use Elysian green for the base colour. Then I'll do the shade, and then I'll go lighter again, and the final highlight layer for grots will come up in Ogre and Camo. So they're all different shades of green, but they're using the same palette, so that they're all sort of
50 shades of green.
50 shades of green.
There's a title for a video.
Is it Deathworld Forest? I think it's Deathworld Forest. I could be wrong. I can't remember. Maybe it was the different one I was using.
Rivets and Daka says, Snap, Crackle and Pop, great names for Dread Mob. Wish I thought of it. There you go, guys. There's a challenge for you, community. Let's get some names for Rivets and Daka's dreads. Is it three? Have you got 3 dreads of your rivets? You
have to do the 3 dread drop. Like even when we first looked at the codex straight away, we were like 3 dread drop happening.
And since I've used it, I have used it every single fucking time. I don't really change my tactics much.
Dave is saying that's a Norgal paint. No, Dave. Deckguard green is the Norgal paint. See what I mean? There's a difference. Lighter again. How dare you, sir?
Yeah, I don't. My skin is very old school looking.
More cartoony one. One's very pale.
Yeah, it's very retro looky. It's sort of classic kind of 3rd edition look. And I don't change it up for my knobs and grots, and I know that kind of goes against like the law, because knobs do, and bosses and stuff, their skin gets darker as they age and they grow bigger, and grots tend to be a little bit lighter skinned. But yeah, I don't know. I like the sort of uniformity of it. It's just a preference I've gone with, and just kind of stuck with it.
You can see the difference between the skin tone for the knobs and the boys there. So that one's done.
Yeah.
Darker than
subtle though. Subtle.
It's subtle. Yeah. So this guy's based in the decor drab, which I like. I don't think that paints out too long, but I like it. I likes it. So he does. Speaking of decor drab, we might do some base coats for stick some on Scar Sneaker or something, or the Weird Boy.
Oh, Rivets and Daka says blood, sweat and beers. That's not a bad one. That's not a bad count.
Yeah, that's not a bad name at all.
Brack the Warboss says, I have loads of fun using the name generator in Saga of the Beast. Yeah, they can be fun. Me and we did that, didn't we, buddy, on episode 4, our Warbanner knobs.
Yeah. I forget his name now. I should have painted it on. I
still need to finish building mine. He's still part converted and not finished yet. But yeah, at least we've got the videos. We need to look back on the video to see what their names are.
I'll have to go back and name them.
The mine worked well because he was something like Iron Boots or something. And it worked quite well because he had a bionic leg, like with a big sort of claw foot. So it kind of it was just meant to be, which is cool.
Roxy's enjoying the German grey. I love Eschen grey. I do love the German grey colours, but the one I go through pots of this stuff, man, because I use it for the. I know it's a layer paint, but I use it for the basing colour and the camo. I use it for both, so I use lots of Eschen grey. I'll have to move over to a Vallejo paint that matches it up eventually. But yeah, Eschen grey. Love this stuff. Love it.
I think you'd like some of these army painter ones, mate. You'd like uniform grey is one I use quite a lot.
Uniform. Well, I've a load of like.
You've got
I just need to
uniform
find the
grey.
tone. I've loads of like I've learned loads of actual German greys of like World War II Luftwaffe blue. I've bleeding
Necromancer cloak. That's a really dark one. That's like sort of almost black. There's sort of a browny tinge to it. It's really, really dark grey. And then I've got another one. I think it's shadow grey or something. I can't find it now. It's in there somewhere.
Orc stuff is saying his first three were Beaky Dread, Senti Dread, and Onslaughter. Looted Beaky Dread, Looted Sentinel, and a Scratch build. Yeah, Orc stuff is awesome. You should see, yeah, definitely. You need to Orc stuff. You need to do a video about Smoggy. Smoggy's his in quotes stomper. It's more like a gargant. Jude is saying he really loves the army painter washes. I've heard good things about them, alright.
Orc stuff certainly does produce some good
cracking
shit.
Conversions, yeah.
Some good shit. That's for damn sure.
Big boy.
He always stands over my desk, overlooking proceedings all the time.
Get back to work.
Slev says, "Hey, this is unexpected. It's how we roll at the moment, man. It's how we roll."
Slevdedon. There you go, see? I remembered how to pronounce it.
There's a name for a Death Dread.
Slev? Slevdedon.
Slaughterhouse Slev.
There you go, yeah. Well, that sounds like more like a corn warrior, but yeah.
It'll goth at the very least.
Yeah. Oh man, these
but I haven't individually named my killer cans. They're just called the 6-pack. Because there's 6 of them. So 6 cans are a 6-pack, you know. So I've got Snap, Crackle and Pop and Snap, Crackle and Pop and the 6-pack. And I have to name the Gorkanaut something as well. It'd be called Keg or something, I don't know. Powder Keg. That's what he can be called.
There you go, see. Now you're thinking.
Yeah, I think it's fun to name your stuff, isn't it? Certainly your characters and things. There's certain units and things. It's you give them a name, it gives them a bit of personality and stuff. And
so,
have you worked a bit on like a bit of lore for your army? I've got a bit of lore.
I've always had
knocking around in this old noggin
lore. I was thinking of with my army that they don't have a planet. That they go around in a fleet.
They're like a mercenary warband kind of thing.
Well, yeah, they're blood axes that sort of... Well, my thinking is they were in the Third War for Armageddon and then broke off. You know what I mean? And then they go around to different sectors of space. So I don't tie them down to one sector. They just sort of...
Go where the fighting's thickest and
go where the fighting's thickest. Now, this is partly because I have a massive battle fleet, Gothic fleet for orcs. I have a fairly large fleet, so I've always liked the idea. You know, very fighter bomber heavy. There's a lot of aircraft carrier types. They're that sort of fleet. You know what I mean? So I really should have some like flyers in me standard army to represent that. So that definitely has to happen.
Mine just go where the glory is.
This is it. Yeah, sort of like roving
show off and
roving orcs.
And loot and make a lot of money and
I think it's tactical flexibility.
I've got the war boss and that, but the real leader of my army is the big mech, who is kind of the real brains of the outfit. And many war bosses have come and gone, but he's kind of my big mech sort of plays the role of Littlefinger. He's kind of controlling things behind the scene and having a little sly word in people's ears. And if a war boss is leading the war band in a sort of area or a path that he doesn't agree with, that war boss might find a bullet to the back of the head, and no one knows how it happened, and leaves the way open for another war boss to come and take over. And he's the big mech. He's just concerned with building the biggest dread mob the galaxy's ever seen, I know that's the kind of loose law I've got. Sort of, I'll flesh it out a bit, but yeah, I intend to sort of work on that a little bit, and be good to sort of make some videos to sort of tell the story of the war and the tribe.
Definitely, yeah. Some personal lore. It's always a bit of fun. Definitely being a bit of fun. I've always sort of envisioned War Boss Skarnir starting off in like a sort of like I wanted to do. I always had this idea of starting off at like a Gork and Walker campaign, sort of type of thing, where you start off as a knob and then work your way up. That'd be really cool. You know, work your War Boss up, see if he survives. The knocks he takes as he goes. That'd be great crack. Sort of like what's the Chaos one called that they have?
No, I think I know the one you mean. I can't remember what it's called though.
It's not Trial of Champions. What's it called?
Sure, someone in the
Path of Glory or something. I think it's Path of Glory.
Sounds like it.
And I mean the old one. I don't mean the rebranded one they have now. Like the old Path of Glory was like a bolt-on rule set for Warhammer Fantasy, where you literally started your Chaos Champion.
You rolled a load of dice, didn't you?
Yeah, to see what happened. Yeah, so you know you could either become a Chaos Champion, or you could, you know, mutate so heavily you become a Chaos Spawn. I really loved that type of stuff, man. I thought that was really cool.
It's cool for Chaos, wasn't it? Certainly. Yeah, you could certainly do something similar with go and visit the doc, roll the dice to see what he's done to you, see if you leave with a power claw or a squig brain transplant.
Well, this is it, you know.
Or if you come out at all. Don't be rolling a ones on that.
We end up wired into a dread.
Yeah.
Being fed through a straw for the rest of your days. No wonder they're so angry.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's an old British skit where it's like, what do they have, a chicken in a box or something like that, and they shoot pellets in to feed the chicken. And then there's there's one hole for feeding it and one for, you know, what comes out the other end, and he shoots the food into the wrong end. It's like, Jesus. I could imagine something like that happening to a dread.
I always like the lore with killer cans and how you know that when that
breaking in
first put into the can and feels that sudden surge of power, and that certain boy or whatever that's been giving him a hard time in the camp, have been beating him and kicking him about a bit, goes marching off and drags that boy out of his fucking his hut and rips him to pieces. And how it says in the book, like the runt herds and the mechs kind of look upon that with a bit of paternal pride, and bless him, good lad.
Bit of revenge. Bless his cotton socks.
Yeah, killer cans rock.
They are cool, yeah. I have a fair few of them myself. It's just about I was only realising myself, like my problem is I haven't figured out the way I want to deal my vehicles. You know what I mean? The way I want to paint them up, the method. Like I've got how I want my skin done, but it took me a really long time to do that. And because I didn't have that technique or method figured out, I just wasn't bothered painting. So I need to do the same thing with my Orc vehicles. Now I have a rough idea. Paint scheme wise, I'll do different camos. I'm not going to stick to just one camouflage. I'll do loads of different ones, I think. But I haven't decided if I want to do like base in a rust colour and do chipping fluid and then chip them that way, or if I want to do sponge weathering techniques, or even experimenting with one of my grot tanks. I was using a lot of pigments, but I think I went a bit too far with the old pigments on this, but it doesn't look too bad. But yeah, I'm at that sort of experimental stage where I'm trying to figure out what way I want stuff done. I think I did the underneath of this probably better than anything else. Yeah, just mucking about with stuff and trying to figure out what I want to do. And I've loads of vehicles, you know, I've loads of stuff. And then I've just bought an army off of someone else, or I'm in the process of getting an army off of someone else. You know?
Try and get some like leaves and shit on top of them. Try and make them like stealthy cans or something. That'd be quite cool.
Or like camo nets. that are still draped over them. Like, yeah, I could try something like that.
That'd be pretty cool looking, actually.
I have ideas for rocket launchers and stone boys using clump foliage to do like smoke, and I haven't done that, so I want to try and experiment with stuff. Your tank is so awesome, Scar. Thanks, Jude. It is my only painted tank. You won't see much painted stuff around my neck of the woods, but I'm working on it, you know. I'm working on it.
Well, there's a bit of painted stuff there you're in now.
I know, man. Like the last game with 40k.
Leading the charge. Dim and Dread are getting a bit hot under the old collar there, like, goodies.
Resting on their laurels. I think that's what their problem was. They're like, oh, we're ahead of these, we'll get them. Or Dread, I think, just can't decide what way he wants to paint stuff. I know what Dread's like, he's a perfectionist. He's like, he'll paint it, then strip it, then paint it again. Yeah. Strip it again. I'm like, Jesus, bud.
He's adding a fucking layer of varnish over every bloody layer of paint.
What is it? He's constantly giving you shtick, isn't he? Oh, is that a full highlight and an airbrush? And then you're like, just get the brush.
It's much quicker, he says. An airbrush, if you get an airbrush, you'll be done in no time. How did that work for you, Dread? Yeah, see, I'm very old school with my paint. I'm sort of stuck in my ways, and you know, it's just the way I like to do it. I've learned old school techniques, and you know, very basic stuff: dry brushing, edge highlighting, washing, and it's just what I've always known and where I feel comfortable, and just a brush and some paints, and that's just what I do. And I think, yes, an airbrush is quicker once you get going with it. But
I think you need to have the setup.
It's the setting up. And that's like, before I had a desk, it killed my motivation because I've got to dig it all out and I've got to find somewhere to set it up. And then when I've finished, I've got to put it all away. So the fact that now I've got a desk, that helps me because I can just sit at my desk, get the brush and just start painting.
Definitely.
And so it's that with an airbrush that there's the sort of, you've got to clean it, you've got to maintain it, it's just the actual process itself is quicker, but it's all the shit that goes along with it that actually slows you down and demotivates you. So actually, I think it would probably do the same to me as it's done to Dread and sort of demotivate me a bit and sort of stop me getting going.
I think Dread's just in the stage that I was in for a while, like that, and the stage that I'm with my vehicles, where it's like you don't know, you're still experimenting until you find what you want. But once you find it, you know, you start racing down.
That definitely. It took me a while to sort of, you know, figure out what colours I was going to use in what kind of style, and like say, once you've got that, then it's a case of just rinse and repeat, isn't it, across your face?
Yeah, you get into a groove then once you're happy with what you've messed around with.
I mean, I have no doubt that when Dread does start finishing some vehicles and units, they're gonna look pretty damn good because he has. I've seen a bit of his stuff that he's painting that, and the boy's got some skills. We know Dim's pretty handy with a paintbrush. He puts himself down all the time, and in terms of the painting, but he's a very competent painter.
This is true. This is really true.
But boys, Dim, Dread, neither of you wants to be the last one. No one wants that shame. They shall be mocked for all times.
Eternally.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to have a T-shirt made up for it then.
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure Gear Guts can work. He's a good one for taking the piss. I'm sure he can. Do something to commemorate the loser of the war bosses. He's always happy to do something.
Trying and taking the piss.
Let's see what these packages are like. We want to do. We're going to be doing a special war boss episode once all four of us have our packages from Gear Guts. And,
you're letting the cat out of the bag. You and bleeding Dim. I tell you, I can't hold your piss. You can't. Okay.
Cracking them open and seeing
it's over here. One got a little squishy did, but it's, you know what I mean. So that's what I'm waiting on. I haven't even opened it. Look, patience of a saint, I tell you.
No, I think it's actually worse for you and Dim because
we have them.
You have to wait. You know, that's kind of more of a tease, really. Mine's probably just sitting in customs somewhere.
Maybe. Russ is saying even kids late to the party as usual. Fashionably late for us. Fashionably late. Judas saying, Stevo, a cool name. I can't even talk. A cool name for a dread mob would be the Dread Pack. It's not bad. It's a good one, yeah.
Well, my tribe, my tribe is called the Broken Tooth Tribe. That's the name of my actual tribe.
What are we called? I think. I think my army's called the Camo Killers. That's the name of them.
That's cool.
Camo Killers. Camo with a K, I think. Yeah, Camo Killers. That's what I call them. Poke's laughing. He's like, Scar's country's gone into lockdown. Yeah, he has his package, and Stevo doesn't. I told you, man. It's Posty just doesn't like him. That's what it is. That's what you get for putting your milk in before the tea bag. You know what I mean? Don't think I forgot. I'll never forget.
I made someone a brew the other day, and they were like, and everyone said, and they was like, that's a banging brew, and I said, yeah.
Don't you hold that? You get away with that.
Milk in first there.
Could you away with that? Next, you be telling me Tetley's is better than Yorkshire Gold and all this. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't trust your taste standards when it comes to tea, Stevo. I'm sure you can try and prove me wrong one of these days, but
although I don't like making brews too much, so when people do like them, the trouble is they keep asking me to make more. So that was a lovely one.
Sure, mate. Yeah, sure. That's just that's British politeness shining through there. That is. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, Steve, I'll make us another cup. That was fucking muck. That was pouring it out behind you, like. Dave's asking.
I do that all the time. People make me a shit brew. It gets poured down the fucking sink.
Ah, yeah, chuck it, man. In front of their face as well.
Life's too short for a shit brew.
So Dave's asking, questions to the chat and video jockeys. How would you paint Orc metal junkyard bases? Which paints with an airbrush? Just go metal and go. Just go mental.
Yeah, I would just go dry brush, different metallics and washes and bits of rust and job done.
I'd say the minimum you'd need is a metal colour, a brown wash, a brown paint and an orange paint. And then just base the metal colour, wash it, either sponge or stipple brown patches and then sponge or stipple orange in the brown patches and boom, you've got rusty metal. You're sorted. It'll look amazing. And then if you're really swank, if you're feeling really swank, you could go back in with the metal colour and do maybe some edge highlighting on the bits that aren't rusty. Like, that's if you're feeling really swank.
Yeah, a bit of like, what is it, the colour I use? Shining silver to do a bit of edge highlighting on metal, just makes them pop a little, it gives them a bit of definition. But nothing, metals, it depends how far you want to go with it. I mean, you can very basic standards. I think I do the bare minimum. Black undercoat, dry brush metal, like a bolt gun metal, brown wash, and then you can apply a little bit of highlights and, like I say, sponge on bits of rust and that. And you could do some of them in like different types of metal, like tin bits, rust, But yeah, it's very easy to.
There's loads of ways to do it. There's loads of ways to do it. What's Brack saying? Brack, tea, isn't that a ladies' drink? Where's the ban from Channel?
Old ladies
Where
drink.
is it? Hold on.
Old ladies drink.
Oh, ban. Where's ban? Remove report ban. Hold on.
I was a bit gutted actually because I made myself a coffee ready for this stream and I was getting all excited, ready to make one of my cappuccinos in my Tassimo, and then I remembered I'd used the last one up this morning. I was like,
nothing worse, man. Nothing worse than putting the kettle on, going to reach for a tea bag, and some bastard's taking the fucking last one and not say a thing.
We've never short of tea bags here, mate, because no one ever fucking drinks it. It's only for guests. It's just for when people come round. I have them on hand. They're there in moments of desperation if I run out of coffee, but that never happens.
In times of emergency, says you.
I do have the occasional cup of tea, actually. And when I do drink tea, I do enjoy it. It's just, I'm always halfway through it and going, I wish this was a coffee.
I drink lattes when I'm out and walk and drive them. I drink lattes. I don't.
The entry level for the coffee beginner.
Well, I don't want. The problem is I don't want.
I do like
drinking like too much coffee. I'm like, it's all right. I don't mind it,
Yeah,
but I don't want to be drinking lots of the fucking stuff. You know what I mean?
It's not good for you. It sets your fucking heart racing like a fucking rapist hiding in a bush. It's not good. Not good if you suffer with anxiety and stuff. Too much coffee. It's not good for you. Your heart's just lying in bed and your heart's just pounding through your fucking chest like you're about to fucking run 100 meters or something.
Caffeine sensitive. I don't know. Like some people are like that even with tea before bed. They can't. I'm like, nah, I could drink buckets of this shit.
Yeah, I get the shakes sometimes if I have like a couple of Costas or something. Americans and people. Costa is like a Starbucks that we get down here. And it's just, I drink too many of them and I've got the old shakes going where I just like caffeine overload. It's not good. But yeah, I've got my coffee maker. I was like, I've got me cappuccino pods on the go. I'll have one of them and bollocks. The last one this morning, didn't I?
The old Tassimo maker. Dame's, whenever I've gone to visit Dame, the old coffee maker does be kept going alright.
I do like my Tassimo.
I can't tell where his leg is in this detail, so I'm just going to paint it all green and then come back to the rest of it. I've no idea. There's a load of crap in there. It's all getting painted green.
I haven't used my coffee percolator in a long time. I used to use that quite a lot, but it's only me in the house that drinks it, so it's sort of a lot of effort to go through as well.
I was literally about to say that sounds like an awful lot of effort for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I mean it's nice. I used to have the like the filter coffee, and that was nice. Just stick that on in the morning and
is that the pot that just keeps dripping?
Keeps.
Mate, that shit's like fucking piss water. I can't believe people drink that shit.
Well, it depends when you have it. When you have it straight away, it's nice. When it's been sitting there for a while, not so much.
Fucking drinking the same coffee for 2 bleeding weeks, like, yeah, that's grand.
Well, that's going a bit far.
It's like, our time's that hard. Adds a bit of flavour. Puts a bit of hair in your chest, it does. It's like, Jesus.
Mad Knob says, what kind of tea do you get to drink? I drink coffee. That's the kind of tea I drink.
It's called Irish breakfast. It's a blend. Sadly, we can't grow tea here. But if we could, I'm telling you.
No, if I when I do drink tea, it's Yorkshire tea if at all possible, because
Yorkshire Gold, Yorkshire Gold. If I'm in foreign lands, I'll drink Yorkshire Gold. None of your Tetleys or PG shite, pish and water that is. I tell you. And when I'm at home, I the Lion's Gold blend.
A massive box of I think it was PG tips. She said, I said, yeah, if you don't want them. She was like, I started drinking Yorkshire tea the other day, and she said, and then I've tried to drink one of these, and she goes, I can't stand it now, because I've started drinking Yorkshire. I'm like, yeah, no, I hear you. And it's only once you've drunk a Yorkshire tea, like, oh yeah, that's like a really nice cup of tea. And then it tastes like crap afterwards. It tastes really wishy-washy and just lacking something.
Pale's giving out. Says he's going to throw YouTube in the bin.
Why?
I've missed so many things lately because it's just not letting me out. Mate, don't get me started on YouTube notifications. They are the biggest load of...
You just have to just keep checking, Pale, all the time. Right. I mean, it doesn't help because we never notify any of you. We just fucking go live.
Lastminute.com lately, you know what I mean? That's just the way of the world, I'm afraid. I'm going to do a base coat of it.
Honestly, I go live. It doesn't matter when it is, what time it is, and there's people jump in and fill up quickly, so it's always good. But
it's not like there's limited spaces in the streams. Because you imagine only 20 people can watch, there'd be bleeding more.
Oh shit! Yeah, you have to draw fucking tickets from a raffle or something.
Mortar. Gonna repaint the skin on this guy.
20 people in at a time, you can start charging entrance fees, isn't it?
Sorry, not tonight, mate. Not with those shoes.
That's it. not tonight.
Not tonight.
Your name's not there. You're not coming in.
Pretty much. I wouldn't be able to walk doors. That would do me bleeding. I'd say if to be a bouncer, you'd have to have a sense of humour. You really would.
Yeah.
You'd have to be able to have a laugh and take the piss out of people.
Dealing with drunk people all night, fuck that.
Yeah. But nobody likes a little general, though, you know what I mean? I'm sure we've all come across a bouncer like that.
Oh yeah, I've been kicked out of a few clubs in my time.
Thinks he's God's gift to Earth, but sure. What can you do?
I've been dragged out of clubs in a headlock, hurled to the ground in front of the queues of people waiting outside.
Well, I mean, I've been taken out of a club before.
So very heavy-handed. That was way back. I was only about 18 at the time. All I did was jump over a rail inside the club, just from the seating area onto the dance floor. And next thing I knew, tackled to the ground. I clenched my fist, about to turn around and hit whoever it was that was attacking me, and I thought, "Oh fuck, it's a bouncer."
I got kicked out of a Wetherspoons. I remember that. That's because they were giving us what happened. I'd had a few points, and one of my mates bought me a point, and it was in a plastic cup, and I hate plastic cups, and I dropped it. I dropped the point, and I was annoyed, and I managed to it hit the ground, bounced, and then I kicked it, and I booted it across the club, and the bouncers weren't too happy with me. Yeah. Out you go. I was like, all right, no bother. I hate plastic pint glasses, man. They do me nothing.
It's funny. That same club I got kicked out of when I was 18, like that. I remember then in my sort of early 30s being kicked out of that same club, and by the most polite bouncer I've ever met in my life. And as he was kicking me out, I was telling him what a great like bouncer he was, and how he was a top bloke, and thanking him for his kind service.
Some good ones out there as well. There's some good ones. Do you know what I would have loved, Stevo?
Nicest bouncer I've ever met, mate. He said, "Hey, it's all right, mate." He said, "You're not banned or nothing." He said, "We just need you to leave right now." I was like, "Yeah, no bother." I was off my tits. But...
Do you know who I would have loved to being kicked out of a club by? Spud when he used to be a bouncer back in the day. That would have been class. Yeah. Good old Spud giving you the boot. Sorry, lads. Nah, not tonight.
He's standing there on the door. He goes, "Oh, fuck, it's the war bosses." Get your eye on that dread, boys.
Oh, God. Could you imagine being recognised? That would be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, it's not happened to me yet. I know it's happened to Nick. It's not happened to me. I've not, I haven't been out in the street and goes, "Hey, Stevo."
It's happened to Nick, has it? I'd say that's...
Yeah, Nick was out on a date, on his first date with his good lady that he's with now. He's there. He's still in the chat. Yeah, I remember him saying he was on his first date, I think, in a restaurant, and someone came over and said to him, "Idic beer, I watched your channel and that." And I'm sure, there's a bit more to the story that meets the eye, because I'm sure, afterwards, he slipped the guy a tenner or whatever, and thanks. That's the new girl,
Mr. Big Shot over there.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm giving it all the spiel about being a big deal. Well, Mr. Necron's over there. He says, "Yeah, that's it."
I love it.
He says, "Yeah, listen, I'm going to come in late tonight with a girl. When we're sitting down, just give us a few minutes, then nip over and ask for an autograph." Well, it must have worked, because they're still going strong, so good on him.
Pale is saying him and his mate used to turn up to the club in jeans and black shorts, get a bit pissed and just walk up to strangers, tap on the shoulder and say, "Come on, bud, think you've had enough, let's go." Mate, you'd be murdered over here. You'd be hung, drawn and quartered if you pulled that.
Quality.
Poke was saying it would be even better if you had not told her about the hobby yet. Could you imagine your first day? "Oh, you've got a YouTube channel." And then she's like, "YouTube? I paint little miniatures for the crack."
Yeah, what you do. Yeah, it's not always the easiest.
Why not? I've always been out and forward with it. You end up converting them to the cause. I collect and paint little miniatures. Would you like to paint one?
I've had the things at work before where you're in a big hall and there's hundreds of you, and they say, "Right, just everyone stand up and turn to the person on your left and tell each other what hobby you've got or something. Tell each other something interesting about yourselves and that. And what's your hobby and that?" So, "Well, I do like wargaming." "Oh, what?" And then What's that then? Oh, well, how much time do we have? I usually start it with, well, I'm a massive nerd.
And sometimes you get, me too. Do you know what Warhammer is?
Yeah.
I do. We're going to get on great, so.
I did have that once with a girl in a pub, and I'm saying to her, and I can't remember how we got on the subject. She was like, "Oh, I love Warhammer." Like, yeah, oh, my brother does it and that, and elves and orcs and all that. Fucking hell.
Yeah, this is it, man. Put the brave face on and say it to them. There are some of them out there. You know? Some of them out there that are nerds and they don't realise it. So you like Lord of the Rings now, do you? Well. There's some Lord of the Rings miniatures here. Would you like to paint some? Oh, too funny.
I remember saying it to a mate, a guy I worked with, and he was into the 40k scene of thing. And I remember we were talking about it, and I was going, yeah, I said something about it being nerdy, and he was like, 40k's not nerdy. And I'm like, I hate to break it to you, but yeah, it is. It's pretty high-end nerd material. You know?
I'm on the cool kids.
Yeah, he looked heartbroken. So it's not nerdy. I'm like, mate, it is. Just accept it. It is.
Embrace the dark side. What's Pale saying now? That he's getting blocked from the comment section. What filters is he trying to break?
Big difference in appeal between a lonely nerd in a dark room painting minis and a sexy as hell painted army on a table at a huge event with a shitload of people. What do? We do battle. The trouble is, all them other people in the same hall are nerds as well, so...
This is it. Have you ever gotten the reaction off of someone when you tell them that you're into the hobby and they're like, I wouldn't have thought. You didn't look like that sort at all. Yeah. That happens a lot to me.
Exact response, like I wouldn't. They'd say, look at me, and they go like, I wouldn't have
never thought
you was into that sort of thing.
Yeah, like it's the dark arts or something. I would have never thought you'd be into that.
Back then, my lifestyle at the time, the music I was into, the dress sense, everything about me, nothing about it really said wargamer. I was like, yeah. And it was great. I remember being in an old job and they were all in the office and I was very open about it and they were all taking the piss and that. And I was going, yeah, no, I love it. And like, what does your missus think of it? I'm like, yeah, she's fine with it. I said, she prefers it to like if I was into football or something, you know. And,
recoiling in horror.
Yeah, they were laughing about it and taking the piss and that. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll bring, I think someone said, oh, can we see them? I said, yeah, I'll bring some in tomorrow and show you. And I brought them in. They were like, they're all getting ready to take the piss. And when I got there, like, oh, you painted that? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, fuck, how'd you do that? And I was like, see. Once they saw the sort of painting side of things and that, they were like, oh, they kind of got a little bit more respect. I mean, none of them are going to play it, you know.
No, but I think that's the aspect of the hobby that I think most people will be able to relate to is the creative sort of painting aspect of it.
Definitely, I think so. It's the non-hobbyist, non-wargaming. When they see the paint, they're like, "That's the bit that catches their interest," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and sort of they take it a little bit more seriously. And
yeah, because I think getting someone to get into the game to play it is a much harder sell. Whereas I think just the creative aspect of painting the miniatures. There's going to be a lot more people who are going to be open to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know there was a couple at work actually, and I think over the lockdown she was asking me for advice on what things to get for a fellow. And I was like, oh, what he wants, Sumner? She was like, yeah, well, you don't want to play it or nothing. It's just like because he's got his time down. He's always fancied painting something, and yeah.
Stevo's menacingly rubbing his hands together. It's like, oh yeah, well, you know, buy this unit and that unit and paint it.
He was interested in painting as well, actually.
And you'll just happen to have a legal 500-point army, but you know, just be very subtle about it. You know what I mean? You don't have to play, mate, but you know, I could teach you how to play if you were so inclined. Once you get them painted up.
It says people look at me and think, oh. I think if I was to look at Rivets and Daka, I would assume that his hobby was like building like rat rods or something, you know, like, or you know, building motorbikes in his shed or something like that. That's what I would assume he was into.
I think it's funny. It's like people say don't judge a book by its cover, but that's what we do. Like
we all do that.
We all do it. That's humans for you. You know?
Orc says Roxy walks them into her dungeon. She says, "I don't have a dungeon." No, well, you don't call it a dungeon, Roxy, but for all intents and purposes, that's what it is, isn't it?
What people do in their spare time, that's their business. I won't knock them.
Russ Barrett says, not everyone who is into 40k are nerds. I don't consider myself to be one. I also happen to think 40k and more specifically orcs are cool as fuck. Well, they are cool as fuck, but to us nerds.
I'm with Stevo on this one. We are king of the nerds over here.
You just got to accept it and own it, you know.
Just embrace it. Just, you know, you're a nerd.
Nerdy
like, yeah, and
nerdy just means geek, you know. Comic books, fucking sci-fi, Trekkies.
I'm not a nerd.
All that kind of stuff. It's all nerdy as hell. It's more accepted now, but it's still nerdy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's a hell of a lot more mainstream than it used to be.
Being a nerd itself, being a geek, is less sort of looked down on now, and it's more accepted by the normies.
The normies.
I think things like Big Bang Theory and stuff did a lot of good for us.
But even just like Marvel, like the Marvel films, like I think that had a much larger cultural effect overall.
Yeah, people are out wearing their Superman T-shirts and stuff with pride now, aren't they?
This is it.
They're not walking around looking like Sloth from the Goonies anymore. They're...
Hey, you guys.
I do like a baby Ruth.
What's a baby Ruth?
American chocolate bar. That's what they had to keep. It's what
American. You get your way out here that with your American chocolate. Wait the fuck. Bleeding Hershey's bar. Muck. Ugh.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you on Hershey's. Horrible stuff. But
I don't know how they... I'm like...
I like to, when I'm over in the States, I like to try all their different candies and stuff. And I like Three Musketeers, Baby Ruths.
Mike and Ike's or something? Or there was some...
Yeah, they're alright.
Like some of their candy, I think, is like made to look good, but tastes bleeding horrible. Like, oh, nerds! I love nerds. Nerds are awesome, man. Yeah, they taste amazing.
Of M&Ms as well. They have all kinds of different over there.
I love a good box of nerds. I do. Used to think they were great.
I'm quite partial to the birthday cake flavour M&Ms.
What?
Yeah. M&M's birthday cake ones, and you can't bite into them, and it literally tastes like birthday cake. It's fucking mental. It's a taste sensation.
I'm somewhat perplexed at this though. But like, what flavour birthday cake? Like, birthday cake flavour isn't
like a traditional birthday cake.
What do you mean? Yeah, but hold on. Are we talking like a vanilla cake? Are we talking about like chocolate fudge? You know what I mean?
Like a sort of normal kind of spongy...
Someone could have a bleeding carrot cake for their birthday cake. Someone could have like a lemon drizzle or something. Maybe a Black Forest gatto for the birthday cake. You know, birthday cake flavour.
Kids' birthday cakes are like a sponge with like icing and sprinkles and that on it.
Well, see, you know what I mean? This a birthday cake flavour. My God.
Three Musketeers. That's a nice chocolate bar. I do like that one as well.
I think the one I like is the peanut stuff. It's not Hershey's. It's
Reese's.
Yeah, the Reese's Pieces. I like them.
So fucking good.
They're good. They're the good stuff. I didn't like.
My signature dish is a peanut butter cheesecake, and I make it with loads of Reese's in it. And oh my God, yeah,
give that a go. I would.
It's a winner, that is.
Twix and Snickers are awesome. They are indeed. They are Mrs. Scarnier's favourite. If I was to eat them in front of her and not share, I would lose a hand.
I had a white Twix the other day. That was nice.
White Twix?
Yeah. That was quite scrummy.
Haven't come across that in my travels yet, but I'll keep an eye out. I'm American, though I love anything that has sugar. Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, I'm with you there, mate.
Coffee
you guys love your
crisp.
corn syrup that goes into everything. It's fucking terrible for you, but my God, it makes stuff taste good. They don't use it over here because everyone's all fucking worried about the health.
Oh, what way? Because we have food standards.
Yeah. Like the cereals, man. We got to pay through the fucking nose over here to get a box of Lucky Charms.
But they're amazing. Oh my God.
I remember when I was a kid, Lucky Charms were just on the shelf like Cocoa Pops.
Yeah, they were, weren't they? I remember.
They did away with them, and
you were like, how many food colours? What?
Yeah. Man, Lucky Charms rock. They're so good.
I do love myself a good box of Lucky Charms.
And even the stuff we got, it doesn't taste the same now. Cocoa Pops don't taste like they used to.
Nah, mate. I think I bought Cocoa Pops like a couple of months ago, and I got my bash, and I was like, what the fuck's this shit? Sugar.
I would rather like the shit was just left as it was. It's just fine. Tell us what's in it. Tell us how bad it is for us. And just let us make our own fucking decisions.
Well, this is it. Like all of these, because they brought in the sugar tax over in Ireland not too long ago.
Yeah, done that here
and
as
then
well.
they own all these diet drinks that taste like garbage, and I'm like, look, just give me full sugar, and I'll pay.
A can of Pepsi now costs you more than a can of Pepsi Max or Diet Pepsi because it's got sugar in it. The bottles. You'll notice that the normal Pepsi is smaller than the other ones because they've got round, rather than charging more, they make like the normal Coke and the normal Pepsi a bit smaller than the diet ones.
You know,
I'll still have, I'd rather have something that doesn't taste like piss.
Well, this is it. Like, you're not going to be drinking fizzy drinks because they're bleeding good for you, you know?
That's it, isn't it? You know, if you're that worried about your fucking health, I don't know, just drink a juice or something. Drink some fucking mineral water. Stop being such a cunt.
Oh, Stevo does love his pop, he does. What were you drinking? You were drinking some cream soda? Or was it Jamaican rum? Yeah, they make a good ginger beer, man. They make a really nice ginger beer.
Yeah. They make a special one, a fiery hot one, like
spicy one. Yeah, they do a nice, like even our normal ginger beer's got a bit of spice to it, and like I'm even salivating thinking about it. That's how nice it is.
Yeah, I kind of want a ginger beer right now, actually.
I wouldn't say no. I'm sorry. I'm sad. I said it now. I don't have one to hand.
Yeah, no, same.
It's like a bastard. Or what else do I like? When it comes to fizzy drinks, a bit of a weird one. I like super malt. Have you ever had it?
No, I've had like the malt type drinks, not that particular one, but yeah, I've had the
malt drinks like super malt. I like them, man. I really do. From my time living in East London. You know?
An old school one I like, Dandelion and Burdock.
It's alright.
It's proper old school, that is.
Are you drinking like the Fentimans one? The Fentimans drinks, they're the botanical brews. They're expensive.
The ones I remember is the ones we used to get off the milkman. This is going way back to like the 80s, like Christmas. You get your special delivery from the milkman. You get your big crate of like glass bottle fizzy drinks, and you'd have limeade and cherryade and orangeade and cola, and one of them would always be Dandelion and Burdock. I always remember having them as Christmas as a kid, and yeah, good times.
So it's got sentimental value for you. No, I think when it came to Christmas, we got like off the milkman, you'd be getting your extra milk and then your cream or something for the Christmas pudding type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll go with top.
Yeah. You'd be getting your extra order of cream in.
Yeah, and chasing off the fucking blackbirds when they've been pecking at the bastards in the morning.
Well, thankfully, the boards over here aren't that smart. They haven't got to that. Riv Sandaka saying it's diet shit is shit. You're right there, Riv. It's diet shit is
poison.
Shit.
Fucking horrible. What do you think you're replacing the sugar with? Not replacing it with fucking hopes and dreams. You know, it's replaced with chemical shit that is terrible for you in its own way. And it fucking tastes rank. But people are fooled by it now, man. Pepsi Max is like, everyone loves it. They're talking about it like it's the most fucking drink of the gods. It's Pepsi.
I think, like, out of the original drinks, I like a Fanta Orange for some reason. I didn't like it when I was a kid, but I like it now. But I like a classic Coke in a can, straight out of the fridge is...
Yeah, it's cold.
It's the stuff of legend. Oh.
Day when you proper got a thirst on and you get like an ice cold can of Coke. It's like,
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's it.
Gulp it down, let out the most almighty burp.
But it's like, I find it tastes better out of a glass bottle or a can as opposed to a plastic bottle.
Yeah, glass bottle, that's the king, innit? That is the king.
It really does taste nicer out of it. Whereas if you got like an ice cold plastic bottle, it just doesn't taste the same. I don't know what it is.
No one liked Diet Pepsi, but when they called it Max and made it all rad with the advertising and the branding, everyone loved it. But it's just Diet Pepsi, guys, you know? Get real. Stop being fooled by marketing. Kind of annoys me, but that's because I have to buy so much of the shit for the missus because she I look in the fridge and I'm like, oh, there's nothing cold in there. Just Pepsi Max.
And the missus is like, what do you mean? There's the whole fridge. You'll open the fridge and it's just a wall of Pepsi Max.
I'm going to give one a go and have a little sip. Or if I haven't got a drink near me, can I just have a quick sip of your drink, darling? I need to wet my throat. And I'll just have a little sip. And I'm like, oh, it's not as bad as I... Oh, no, there it is. There's that oh, jeez.
That's not that bad.
So bad. Same with Coke Zero and all that. Like,
yeah, Coke Zero, man. What the... Just... No.
The worst one. Do you remember that short-lived one they did for a while called Coca-Cola Life? It was in...
Was that like in a green can or something, was it?
Yeah. It tasted like the really shitty, like Happy Shopper cola. Like it just tasted like budget fucking drink. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? But it didn't last long because everyone else obviously thought. Oh, and I'll tell you the other thing. What was the other thing I had? Coca-Cola energy drink. That is rotten. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's just like an energy drink, but Coca-Cola one, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. So it'll be like
Bolt,
an energy drink.
Is it?
But it's Coca-Cola brand.
Oh, boy, Coke. No, I didn't have that one.
Drink Coca-Cola, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So it's an energy drink, but it tastes like Coke. So that won't taste like shit like most energy drinks. It's fucking vile. It tastes like a vodka and Coke that's got too much vodka in it.
Yeah.
It's like syrupy and I had like a sip. I'm like, bin. Just went straight in the bin. I'm like, that's fucking rank. Real nasty, gloopy, sickly, nasty stuff. Like, but man, yeah. What's the other thing she drinks all the time? Monster energy drink. She loves them.
I had one of them the other night. I don't like drinking them. I'll only drink it when I'm like super tired and I'm in work. What ones do I like? I like the lemon. There's like a lemon one, a yellow one, a Rossi one or something. I like drinking that one because it doesn't taste like arse. And then there's like a mango one that's actually really nice. But like I steer well clear of them, man. I don't.
Yeah, they're not good.
I could probably count on one hand the amount of cans of that stuff I drink in a year. Like I don't.
She drinks too much of that stuff.
Oh, Jesus, now you'll have to be having more Stevo. You know what I mean?
I've tried. She tells me to fuck off. What we got here? What's going on? This Rivets and Daka says Pepsi Spepsi. When I was drink Dr. Pepper, it was always better out of a can or glass bottle. Dr. Pepper is the oldest of all the drinks. It predates Coca-Cola. Did you know?
I always find it tastes like chalky or something. Like it reminds me of the chalk. Like
yeah, I'm not keen on Dr. Pepper. Neither is Jude actually, because he's got a face puking up there, an emoji there. Rivet said I would never ruin rum by putting Coke in it unless it was powder form. Oh, steady on.
Beware, missus.
Colby, love your videos, man. What's your favourite Orc unit? Probably Tank Busters.
Well, you know, favourite tabletop wise or favourite aesthetics, like, you know what I mean?
It's hard to pick a favourite, man. Like an absolute.
Like I love Commandos.
Actual favourite. Cool.
But I like Stormboys as well. But that's because I think, you know, orcs with rocket packs stuck on the back of them is hilarious.
Yeah. So I like Shooter Boys. They're one of my favourites.
I like Shooter Boys as well. Shooter Boys are good fun.
I like Grots, like Mega Knobs, like Tank Busters, Death Dreads, Cats. I like all sorts. It's hard to pick a favourite, an absolute favourite, and it probably change from day to day, even if I tried to.
I think, yeah, no, foot slugging units would probably be commandos.
Well, someone got us back on topic there anyway.
That's it. We went on a bit of a segue. Just a little bit of a segue.
Talking
Dr.
about
Pepper
the,
shit!
my campaign of Pepsi Max.
Oh, yeah. All the Pepsi Max lovers out there unsubscribing. It's like, this bastard.
Yeah, well, they can fuck off. I'm basically keeping fucking Pepsi in business, the amount of shit we have to buy. Crates of the crap.
Good. Now tea. It's tea with me, man. Goes through a fierce amount of tea bags and milk.
Coffee for me the vast majority of the time.
More than anything else, tea.
I like a nice hot beverage. How many more? That's 10 of the skin down. That just leaves 5 more to go.
Stevo's asking, anyone got any recommendations for movement trays? Otherwise, I'm just going with Mini Depot.
I don't use movement trays currently.
You don't use mobs at the Orc Boys, though, do you?
Well, I mean, I do. When I play like the friendly games and I'm playing unpainted stuff, I do go like full on horde sometimes. But yeah, even then I don't. But yeah, I don't know. The GW ones seem quite good, clear ones and that.
I don't know. I've never tried them. I have some here. Hold on, let me have a look.
Seen them used. They're pretty cool.
Like I bought them when Apocalypse came out, and I literally have never used. Never. Give us a look. Let's see how much shite in the storage area.
And you buy a box of them, you get quite a few in the box as well, didn't you?
You get a hold on. So when you buy the box, you get like a few of them. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think you get 9 of them.
That's not bad, gang. You fit like five per tray, don't you? Depending on the size of them.
So these are the 25mm ones. Because, you know, I'm rocking 25s for life. Fuck the rest of these in your 32mm orcs and give a shit. Yeah, they're grand. Like, they're, you know, they work. They do exactly. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a movement tray. That's clear. If I was doing movement trays myself, I'd make them out of, I don't know, cardboard or something like that. But yeah, they.
There's loads of like MDF ones on the market, isn't there?
Yeah. And they're grand, and that's got metal ones in it now as well. So it's not flexing or anything. It's all right. There's cheaper options out there, definitely. So they're like the 25mm ones, and then there's like 32mm ones as well. Because Muggins here bought like a lot of Apocalypse stuff when it came out. I've never even opened this. There you go. Look, oh, box opening. 32mm base box opening live here.
You seen it here first.
Only like a year late. Yeah, I didn't even open this. When did you get in this one?
That's service boy, isn't it? That someone asks, well, got any advice on movement trays?
Yeah, advice on movement trays. And I'm like, hold on, I'll crack some open.
How's that for service?
Yeah. And this is on your channel. We're working wonders for you here, Stevo. There you go. You should have me on more often. So we'll put the Blood Bowl orcs in since they're on 42s. And there you go. That's what you're... This is exactly what it says on the tin. Movement tray. 32mm. Happy days. And then the size difference between them. So, there you go. 32s.
Scotto says, I've been printing some. I can only fit a 5-man tray on my printer though.
Well, you don't need more than a 5-man tray. Yeah. Well, I suppose you could do like 10-man ones. I could see 10-man ones for grots would be like super handy.
Yeah, I think anything on like a 25mm base would be quite good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. There you go. So, the GW ones are alright, but I'd say they're a bit pricey for what they are. They are just plastic, so they should cost... They probably should cost no more than a tenner. And I can't remember what I paid for them. But they're it's what they are.
Well, without even knowing, I can say that GW would charge more than they're worth. That's what
so negative, Stevo. Well, you always assume the worst. You're so negative. You've been hanging around with that Dane too much.
I bloody have, man. He's rubbing off.
Oh, he's. I know. I was laughing. I'm laughing at your stream the other day. That he was getting. You could tell. You'd say something to wind him up. You were just as bad. Getting him hashtag triggered. I'm like, Jesus, you'll have to be. No. Like when we're doing the 4 war bosses. Like, oh, here we go again, lads. Yeah, Jesus. It's a good laugh there, Jim.
The old the war bosses of the apocalypse. It's never boring.
No.
You never quite know what you're going to get with that show.
Hold on a minute. There's even more. There's more than 9. There's fucking loads.
Yeah, you do get. I remember being quite impressed with the amount they pack in the boxes of them.
So you get 2 stacks of.
Not because it's insanely good value, just because I was like, oh, they're not actually ripping people off that badly.
4, 6, 8, 9. So you get 18 of them.
That's good going, isn't it? Should cover most sort of, regular-sized armies.
Oh yeah, that's bleeding loads. That's more than I thought.
Got Poke Cactus and Gear Guts going regular-sized armies right now.
yeah.
I'll have 17 of them, please.
There you go.
They needed to order them in by the bloody crate load.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those lads, no, they'd have to use like dinner plate size movement trays. This is just for me grits. It's like, Jesus, lads. And I thought we had a problem. This is why I never say I'll never buy any more Warhammer again, because I'm like, I know myself too well. There's no point.
Yeah, no, you will.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna lie to myself, let alone anyone else. I'll never buy Warhammer again. It's like, nah, I will. It's like, do you need any more orcs? And I'm like, need is a very strong word. Want? Yes. Need? I don't think I've ever needed orcs. Doesn't mean I don't want more. You
never know when another apocalypse game's around the corner, do you? And you need.
Well, this is it. Like, this is another thing about like getting all this painted up. Is like when we do get together and actually play like a big apocalypse game or whatever, I'll be like, oh Jesus, I've painted miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bleeding know myself. I just need to figure out a decent case for transporting vehicles, and I'll be able to. I'll have to look on Amazon or a cheap case. I was thinking about like maybe a gun case, but I'm thinking that's probably not a good idea if I want to fly with them. Just a hard case for vehicles, something with plug foam probably. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just have a dedicated like case that's for flying specific vehicles.
Yeah. It depends what the vehicles are as well. Certain ones like I fit my truck and my death dreads and stuff quite comfortably in my battle foam board case that I had. Some of the smaller vehicles, depending how you pose them and things, like the death dreads especially. But yeah, it all depends what you've got. 'Cause, I mean, the truck's quite small, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends what you do with the truck. Like I left my trucks modular.
All and all the shit hanging off it.
Yeah. Leave that stuff like loose. That type of stuff I like to leave loose, because otherwise they just snap off. Like if a KR multi-case that's got like 6 battle wagons in it or something like that, one of the plug foam ones.
Yeah, they're quite cool. They're like the cardboard ones, aren't they?
Yeah, and like they're grand. I've had them like since I started collecting orcs, so like what, 12 years or something like that? 10, 12 years I have some of them, and they're still like the cardboard case is still in one piece. Granted, I'm not bringing it down to a gamer club every week.
You could just put that cardboard case inside some other kind of hard case.
I was doing that. I was doing, well, not a hard case. I was putting my skirmish case inside of.
Put it in a briefcase.
A normal suitcase.
Walking through casters like that, looking like some big shot.
This is it. See how happy they'd be with me. What's in the case? If I have to show you, I'll have to kill you, man.
This way, he says, as putting on the
gloves. The gloves get put on. Please step into this queue over here, sir. Oh, 1 all to myself. Now this is service.
Why are you lubing up?
Oh god. Yeah.
Why is that security guard with the massive hands lubing up his fingers right now?
With a massive grin on his face. It's like, I love my job.
Big Boss says, Skarner, how do you get motivated to paint?
I don't.
He watches live videos of me ripping the piss out of him and says, right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. No lying about it. Like, that's what has me painting now. I was like, oh yeah, shit, the orcs. Have friends who take the piss out of you. That's what my motivation is. No lie.
It's been yeah, well, because you have been painting, haven't you? You've been painting your BattleTech stuff a lot recently.
I was painting that, recently, but I'm stripping it down. I'm not happy with the paint job, and I have a shitload of BattleTech stuff coming as well. So I'm like, I've just been mucking about with bits and pieces, experimenting with camo schemes, because I bought like massive paint sets off of Vallejo. So there's like specific ones. There's one called the Panzer Aces line, which is a lot of like painting World War II stuff. But I want to do like World War II camo on my orcs, because I'm trying to practice painting camouflage schemes. So commandos would be a good excuse for it. Or with me war boss, I started to his backpack I want to do in splinter camo, which was camouflage used in World War II by the Germans on like to give them like they're like ponchos that were also tarpaulins, so you can make little sort of tents out of them. I want to paint it up in that sort of scheme, and then I want to try doing dot camouflage on some stuff. This is why I think the second edition commandos would be the best for it, because they're in like overalls. They don't have as much junk clustered on them, so there's more like blank space to be doing a camouflage pattern on them. Whereas these lads are up to their bleeding eyeballs in
you can get the a lot of the Cromlech heads would be good as well, aren't they? Because you got a lot of the Cromlech heads they do with the gas masks. Heads they do with the what they call them, the great coats. The Cromlech orcs they do. But I noticed a lot. They got a lot of the heads with like the gas masks and stuff on, which would be cool. At some point, I shall do some Bad Moon commandos, and they will look like tigers.
Tiger stripe,
yellow camo. I've always liked the idea of that, because I love that with the a lot of the law with the blood axes and that, and they say that how they sort of enthusiastically paint on the camo and stuff, but orcs don't always understand actually how camo works and that it should blend in with your surroundings. They don't always take that into account. They just they paint off all these splodges and stuff, and we do that, and yeah, it doesn't always work. So I kind of like the idea of kind of quite loud camo.
Oh, loud, yeah. Well,
yeah, looking almost sort of like Ali G-ish, just like full
that's,
on.
If you know camouflage, that's a type of camouflage called reverse camouflage. Yeah, and it's used as a statement. So you'll find it with a lot of like dictatorships and stuff. Their police forces will wear ridiculous camouflage, but that's the whole point, is to make them stand out. So that's actually a thing as well, though, which is hilarious. You know what I mean?
It'd be cool for Bad Moons as well, for sure.
You can tell I've spent too much time looking at different camouflages when I'm talking to you about them. It's like, you could paint them, Mountbatten pink if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Go for it, man. That's another type of camo. That's the different types.
Jude says, I have no motivation to paint. I just paint when I paint. Whatever works for you, Jude. I mean, are you managing to get anything done? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not that motivated at the moment. I'm just kind of forcing myself. I think what is motivating me is that I know this is the last squad, so I can see the end in sight. So I'm like, I don't want it. Come on, it's the last squad. You're almost there, man. Think how good it's going to feel once you're there. And so that's keeping me going. I never ever want to start from scratch again, though.
No, bollocks to that.
Only the other day on Battlescribe, I was just for fun throwing together a little 500-point Dark Elder list, and
that's a slippery slope there, but
yeah,
that's dangerous territory.
And I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'd have that. I like them Talos things. They're cool. And get a homunculus in there and all sorts of, throwing things, trying things out. And like, yeah, it'd be a cool little army. No, you're not buying any fucking Drakari. Just stop. Just focus on what you're supposed to be doing. It's not happening. One day, maybe. One day. I like the idea of sort of dipping my toe with other factions, just like on that either kill team level or 500-point level, just to sort of dip your toe in, have a little small sort of skirmish force or a little scout force of like a different faction. But yeah, not for a good while. I've got to focus on orcs. Just
orcs is
working on them.
Yeah, you're better off, man. You're better off. I'm getting distracted with BattleTech is what my problem is. I'm waiting for a whole box of stuff to come in for their Kickstarter, the first wave. And but yeah, like I changed job. Like I stopped doing me live streams because of the new job. Just the way there's no organisation with it. It's just all over the place. You know what I mean? So that killed me hobby mojo for a good while. I haven't really been painting that much lately,
Yeah, I went through a similar thing a little while back, like a couple of months of just nothing. Yeah. I think I burnt out, to be honest, because I was doing a lot.
Oh well, yeah. You started lockdown. You were like stuck at home, so you were just like
hammering through it,
up to your eyeballs in it, man. You know what I mean?
Grinding through it, getting those Death Dreads done, getting the Death Killer Wartrike done. What else did I do? Can't even remember now. Other stuff, grots and all kinds of bits. Weird Boy. So I was getting a lot done, but after then I was like, come on, I couldn't face doing any more for a bit. I needed a break from it. But yeah,
you can definitely burn yourself out. I don't know. I've got like week's holidays at the end of this month, so I might actually get some more streams going and get this stuff finished. If people are interested in joining and watching, it's up to themselves. I don't know. But,
the streams are good. Like I know when I watch your hobby hangouts, so I always get a lot done. I always get a lot more done watching you than I do
participating. Yeah, it's always the way. If you get distracted with comments and stuff.
But yeah, I do a lot. I listen to stuff as well a lot of the time. I've been doing the finally dipping my toe into the Discord, see what all this shenanigans is all about with the youngsters these days and that. Got in there and see what all the fuss was about. But it's good just to have a chin wag while you're getting some hobby done, chatting away. It can help just keep you motivated.
This is it, bud. You know what I mean? It does help. And I find it really helps when other people are doing hobby as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're seeing someone progress, it just makes you want to paint. Like I've had that happen a few times where I'm watching someone's hobby stream. There's a couple of guys I like to watch. Dash of Elaine is one of them. Curtis over there. Like, I won't be painting, I'll be sitting down at my desk, I'm not in the mood, blah blah blah, and then they're chatting and talking hobby, and then next thing I know I'll be doing what I'm doing now, even if it's just base coat miniatures. It's progress, like it's some progress.
Yeah, something.
Any progress, you know what I mean? Like this isn't much, but it's something. It's that little bit closer. But yeah, your stream the other night as well has me painting orcs right now, quite literally. Stevo stream, I'm saying, only this long to go. And I'm like, oh yeah, the orcs. What have I got left to do?
You know it's going to be annoying now, don't you? We're going to be done, and then we're going to be playing the fucking waiting game. Then it's like, come on, done ours. Need you to get yours done now.
Well, you know what to do. We'll just keep adding more and more units, and they'll be further and further behind.
Yeah. Do you remember when you said 2K? We've decided to take you up on that offer. We're going to do it.
We're thinking 3K now, Dread. Like, I'm not joking, man. I'm only 100 points short once I do this because of the points increase. Like, when did Lotus become 20 points a bleeding model? Like, what the hell? I think they're 20 points. They're not cheap, man. They're not cheap at all.
Yeah, I had to strip a few things out of my list to make
I had to drop a unit of 5 commandos on my list, and I had to drop a unit of 10 Lotus, which were fully painted, by the way. So I'm well ahead of myself once I get this bit done. I think my current list is like 1,497 points or something like that. But yeah, I can sit down and do a video of it as well. because I'll have time off. I won't know myself.
The good thing with my list did go up in points, but I had a lot of things kind of stay the same or not increase by too much. I had 20 grots. I've got 20 grots in the list, so obviously that jumped up the points a bit. Obviously with grots jumping up, that was another. What's that? That's another 40 points right there. And then, yeah, I think I got away with it at Tank Busters. Because obviously Tank Busters plays a huge role, but Tank Busters stayed the same. Because I think they went up, but the rockets went down by the same amount, so they effectively stayed the same cost, which was a result.
Well, they didn't, you know what I mean? There was, I think, did boys go up in points as well, or?
Yeah, I think boys went up by 1, didn't they? Grots went up by fucking...
Well, this is my problem. I have 30 grots in my army, so what was that?
66%.
Yeah, they went up.
I like to emphasise it.
But like, so the 30 grots in my army was an extra. That's an extra 60 points in and of itself. The loot is going up was more points, and then I've 2 units of 30 boys and a unit of 20 boys. So what you said, they went up by a point each. So that's what, another 80 points. You know what I mean? So that's, yeah, it's like, well, whatever.
I think some of my Death Dreads ended up being more expensive, and some of them ended up being cheaper.
Depending on what they were equipped with, was it?
Yeah, because it's I think a lot of the units and things went up, but a lot of our war gear went down. A lot of the guns and a lot of the melee stuff went down in points, which was quite nice. Like things like big choppers and power claws and rockets and all that kind of stuff. Combi shooters and things went down, which was very welcome.
It all depends. Like swings
I imagine it'll all change again when the codex comes out.
Of course it will. I reckon grots won't be 5 points when the codex come out. I'd be very surprised. Either that or they need a boost.
I'd like to see him go down to 4. 4 would have been tolerable. It would have still been a bit of a groan, but it would have been tolerable. Grots have gone up by 1 point. They're still half the cost of a boy. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but like, come on, the same points as a fucking guardsman. Are you just having a bleeding giraffe? Like, come on. There's taking the piss, and then there's that. Like,
I really think a grot needs to be at least half the cost of an Orc boy within our own faction, and yes, certainly less than a guardsman. A guardsman should be priced similarly to an Orc boy.
Do you know what? That probably makes more sense. Guardsmen are too cheap. Any of the guard players out there are screaming at them.
Oh yeah, a guardsman is they obviously not going to do well in combat like an Orc boy, but they've got better shooting.
Gear Guts, or Five Headers asking a question: are all the Gear Guts war bosses in our 1500 point lists?
No, my war boss, he is going to be what I'm painting after my army's painted. No, my HQ from my army is Death Killer War Trike and a Weird Boy.
I think we made the list before we got the war bosses, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, long before.
So he's not going to be in my 1500 point list, but I'll put Skarner in my 2000 point list. I suppose that, we get in because of 100 points spare. I would have liked to get a flyer in, but I think
I'll use a war boss in my lists.
Yeah, I could use a war boss. So I could put Skarner in the 2000 point list, the expansion.
Because I don't run a huge amount of boys and stuff. A war boss
but that
limited use.
I think it would make sense, like, because of the large units of boys. I've got the WA banner knob, I've got the Pain Boy, I've got the big mech with custom force field. You know what I mean? I've sort of synergized for that anyway.
Oh yeah, you certainly want a war boss to be leading them in and giving them that the WA ability. But yeah, I've gone with the Death Killer War Trike because, well, for one reason, because he's painted. He wasn't originally part of the list, but because he was sub-assembly, I'm like, well, I've got to paint him just so I can finish building him and then move on to the next thing. So he ended up becoming part of my list, but actually he's going to be a very welcome addition because he does the speed WA, so all vehicles get the WA ability, so that affects the dreads and the cans.
Nice.
So that's great, so that they can advance and charge, which is going to make cans and dreads that much more deadly. Death Killer War Trike is a pretty tasty unit, actually. He's got some nice shooting and some good combat and certainly good movement and some nice buffs. So yeah, it's cool to have a war boss that affects your vehicles, just like the normal war boss affects your infantry. It should be cool. I look forward to, in the future, combining the Deathkiller Wartrike with my Gorkanaut to get my Gorkanaut just rampaging up the field, moving and advancing and then charging and scaring the shit out of everyone.
But the Gorkanaut tends to be good at the on that. It's more of the assault one, isn't it? More so than the Morkanaut.
It's got some impressive Dakar, but it's once he gets into combat, he just fucks anything up he touches. It's so good. Terminators, he's like a bowling ball to fucking Terminators. Just rips them to shreds. It is just beautiful.
Five Header was saying, what was he saying? It would be good to see them face off at some point. It would be Five Header to see the war bosses fighting on the tabletop.
We certainly will. Well, us two certainly will. If the other two don't get finished, we'll do a bald knobs face off. You know?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about that, weren't we? Long before
the
boss thing,
back in the eons of time.
I think you'll see from us various combinations. You'll see like all four of us going at it, all against all, in like some kind of league tournament type setting. You'll see us doing 2v2. Large games. You'll see like Scar playing Dread or me playing Dim, and in various combinations and that. And I think you'll see, over the next coming years, you'll see quite a few battle reports of us all in. And I mean, hopefully we'll do other things as well. We'll play some kill team games and we'll do some combat patrol games, and we'll mix it up.
Maybe some battle tech. You never know.
You never know. I mean, we're already talking about Blood Bowl.
Exactly, yeah. Blood Bowl.
Even I can manage to get a Blood Bowl team painted up. Not quickly, but it will be, at some point. So look forward to dipping my toe in that and just playing something else other than 40k for the first time in God knows how long.
I mean, this is the I think this is the thing with 40k though, is it was another point you were touching on about how it seems to be all or nothing these days. Like, even just trying to stay up to date with the game and the rules, it's like another job. Like,
yeah, it's pretty fucking mental, the pace in which they release stuff and everything. And we were chatting about it earlier, weren't we, off camera, and you were kind of saying how that's kind of GW's strategy, in that they kind of force the player base to stay engaged because they have to be able to keep up to date with all the updates and FAQs and erratas. And they want people to keep spending money. They want people to keep playing and keep looking on the community site and keep I get all that to keep us all engaged and stuff, but they've just taken it that step too far, I think, and it's made it very difficult to
just seems a bit overwhelming for me personally. I'm like, I enjoy 40k, but I don't want 40k to be all of my hobby. You know what I mean?
No, I would like to be able to play a game of 40k and then 6 months later be able to play another game and not have to worry that loads of shit's changed.
Yeah, not have to look up rules all the time.
I don't think you can now. I think you play a game and then a month later a load of shit's changed. You're like, oh, come on, man. Just let us get used to it. Most of us don't play that often.
Yeah.
Casual players stuff. We get a game in here and there where we can. Most of us have busy lives and other things going on and other hobbies.
Kids, jobs, you know what I mean? Bills to fucking pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, I mean, I remember like 5th edition, I don't know, it not a lot. They added stuff to it, but it was all kind of optional stuff, wasn't it?
Oh, the flyers. The flyers got added on near the end, but it didn't change the core dynamics of the game.
You'd have things like Apocalypse, and you'd have these various things, and then you get a new codex and stuff. But the game was pretty consistent all the way through, really. There wasn't huge constant changes like there is now. The business model is so different now, and it's just, I think that does more damage than the actual rule set themselves. I think people can, they can forgive certain rules and things that they don't like, or certain changes, but when it's just constant changes, we can't keep up, man. Just chill the fuck out.
It just reminds me of, it feels to me, you know how you feel when you play a new edition. if you're new to 40k, you'll realise after a few years this will happen to you. You'll get used to playing an edition. The rules will change. You'll go to a new edition. This is what used to happen. Like, a new edition would come, and what will happen is you'll be playing a game with someone, and then a rule from like 2 or 3 editions ago would stick into your head for some reason. Yeah. It just happens. All right?
It actually kind of puts experienced players at a bit of a disadvantage. If you're brand new, you don't have any of that pre-loaded knowledge or anything to fuck you up on. You know, it's
It does. It'll crop up, and that's definitely real, isn't it? It's like, and then like 5 minutes later, you're like, oh shit, that was 5th edition. Sorry, mate. You don't do it on purpose. It just stuff sticks into your head. Like whatever edition you play a lot of, that'll stick in your head. And this is the problem you're gonna have with editions constantly chopping and changing so much. You'll think that the rule is one way because it was like that last month or 2 months ago or 3 months ago, the last time you had to deal with that situation, and you'll get it wrong because it's changed that much. And that's part of the reason why I started to get into other war games. I don't mean to sound like a prick, but that's why I started playing BattleTech, because you know the game's changed a little bit, but someone who played BattleTech in the 80s... yeah, but someone who played BattleTech in the 80s can go up to a game now and they'll be able to recognise it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There isn't too much of a steep learning curve. That's what I like.
I mean, I don't mind so much when they change it with an edition.
Yes.
A new edition comes out, and because you expect a load of big changes. Like, right, this is a new edition of the game. There's going to be a lot of changes, and then everyone knows about it because everyone's talking about it and it's there. But then the FAQs, they kind of slip through under the radar, and I only hear about a lot of stuff because someone says, "Oh, did you see the new thing? Now you can't do this." Whatever. I'm like, "What? When? No. When was this? Oh, it's on the. Oh, for fuck's sake! Where? What? Do I have to download it? Fuck off, man! I haven't even played a game with the. I've just learned the last set of rules. I haven't played a game yet, and now what I've just learned is a load of bollocks. I've got to learn something new. Just fuck off."
Like, I haven't even had time to sit down and go through the core rulebook properly yet, but I already know there's probably stuff in the core rulebook that's wrong already.
Probably already is, yeah.
Like,
it's the way they go now, and it's too much.
Like, all right, yeah.
Further up in the comments section there, Nick just said something that I thought, well, got to do that. He said, "I'll have to take all 4 of you on with my Necrons." That sounds like a fun fucking battle.
Is his Necron army big enough? He's got a big army. Oh,
yeah, he's got a shitload. You rarely see all of it. But
I think he'd have to do what Coil does and have some minions to help him with his joint army.
Yeah,
he'll have to muster some Necron minions to help him push stuff around. But yeah, that'd be fun. I'd do that.
Well, yeah, he'd have to get someone to help him just so that he couldn't have the bragging rights of I single-handedly beat all 4 of the war.
No, wait, like that, and it would take 2 weeks to play the bleeding game. You know what I mean?
Nick says he's probably got about 20k size Necron army at the moment, and that is growing steadily with all the new shit he's just got.
Nice.
So yeah, he's got a big old army there.
He's not short on them at all. Good man.
You never know, Nick. Maybe one day Gear Guts will come down and you and Gear Guts can do a 20k Orc versus Necron bat rep. That'd be good fun to see.
That would be colossal, man. I think that would be like the battle to end all battles.
Yeah, it'd be pretty impressive. See if
mega battle of Doom.
Interesting to see Gear Guts trying to get one of his Titans through customs.
Oh, you'd have to shoot
next to him on the seat in the plane.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So who will be travelling with you today? I call him Mr. Stompy.
Buckled up there in the thing.
Little passport printed off from him. There you go.
Sitting there with his little bag of peanuts and his miniature can of Pepsi Max.
Or Dr. Pepper, yeah. Poker saying, Nick, do a video on it if you already have. Plug the shit out of it. Necrons and more. 20k, man. And he's a painting machine, so you can guarantee it's probably all painted as well.
Yeah, he's got a lot of shit, man. He's got like, well, pretty much everything. He's got everything that exists and everything that did exist. He's got all most of the old vintage stuff as well. The old classic.
The old ones.
He's got them all mixed in, and
I do like the old Necrons.
He's got the old school Necron destroyers.
Yeah, they're cool looking, man. I like them.
Uses them as tomb blades, which makes sense. That's really cool.
Does actually, yeah.
I remember him saying he was trying to use them in a tournament, and they wouldn't let him use them in the tournament.
What?
Yeah, I said because they were. He used them as tomblates. They said no, they're not the proper miniatures. You can't use them in the tournament. Which that kind of sucked, I thought, because it's pretty obvious what they are. They're Necrons riding on jet bike things. Look, come on, they're tomb blades.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. WYSIWYG. I think it can be taken a bit too far sometimes.
I mean, maybe the guns weren't exactly right on looking on them, but it's pretty obvious to see what they were. They look more like tomb blades now than they look like destroyers. So it totally makes sense to use them as that.
I don't know. I can't see myself going to like official tournaments for 40k. I'm not going to say I'll never do them. I just can't see it being a thing. I could, you know, if Nick ran a tournament or something like that and invited a few people over, I could see doing something like that, but not like
his tournament that he ran
crazy
before
ones.
that was certainly good fun. That was enjoyable.
Big old crack.
It was had some good games in there, and had my arse handed to me by Nick yet again in our game.
Yeah, thanks you have a smile on your face.
Opponent actually, so it started things off really well for me. It was kind of uphill from there, but those bloody destroyers, I fucking hate them.
I think the last game of 40k I played was against the Necron player.
How did you do?
I won, but like it was a good game. It was hard fought. Yeah, it was good crack.
Nick's Necrons seem to be my kryptonite.
I think I would.
I think our first game was quite close, wasn't it, Nick? I think it was. It would have been a draw if I hadn't have taken my eye off the ball on one turn and moved a unit off an objective stupidly. It would have ended up being a draw. So that was kind of a kick in the balls. Then the next time we met, he absolutely wiped the floor with me. It was. It started off bad and then continued to be bad for the rest of the game.
Just went downhill, did it? Did he adapt to your list, or what happened?
No, I think in the first game we both had kind of fluffy lists. Nick he didn't have an uber powerful list. We had monoliths in his list, so that tells you a lot. It was not a ultra competitive list, and neither was mine really. And yeah, it was just a fairly fun, even game. The next time we played, he went a little bit more competitive, and I should have done really, but I just tried to put in as much painted stuff as I could. And the trouble is, my painted stuff was killer cans at a time when they were really quite shit, and they proved as much in that game. And yeah, just one of them games where everything kind of went against me, really.
Did you enjoy yourself? That's the important question.
Do you know what? Going around Nixon playing, you always enjoy yourself. He is a gracious host.
Does he put on a good spread, does he?
He does. The thing is, when you go for a battle report at Nick's, he always before you turn up, he's always made a trip to the local bakery, and he's equipped with like sausage rolls and pastries and crisps, and there's tea and coffee on tap, and so yeah.
So it's a win in my eyes then.
And it says Roxy the Riveter. Yeah, sure, Stevo. Nick just whooped your ass. Hey, Roxy, whose side are you on? You're supposed to be a fucking greenskin, yeah?
I don't think Roxy's on anyone's side. She just likes to store it. You know what I mean? Roxy's on Roxy's side.
It says Idiot Beer 316. Oh, I love it. I get the reference, Roxy. Nick Beer 316 says, I just kicked your ass.
Is this one of those
It's
wrestling
a
references?
Yeah.
Good old Stone Cold. Is it? Yeah, there you go. See, look.
He opened a can of whoop ass on me. Well, he certainly did. There's no denying that. But yeah, he is always fun to play against. He's always very fair in the rules. He's just a gentleman, and he's always a pleasure to play. And I really like coming up against his really tough competitive lists because it makes you better. It makes you a better player. It can be, if you haven't turned up with a really powerful list of your own, then you're going to have a tough time. But it's a fun challenge and it's a learning experience. And I always think you learn more from the losses than you do from the wins. You always come learning a lot of stuff.
There are always 1,000 lessons in defeat. You get some of those get good scrub moments off of them. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Orcs always win. Orcs always win when they fight. That's true.
Well, we do. We always come back.
I have to say though, hands down, I'm sure Nick is great to play against, but the best games of 40k I've ever played have been Orcs versus Orcs. Hands down. They are the best games. Bar none. Best Apocalypse games. Orcs against Orcs. You just get to see.
The game I used to have was against a mate of mine who I used to play with, and it was my Necrons versus his Space Wolves. And we must have been like 50-50 win-loss ratio against each other, and several games ended in draws. Every single game always came right down to the wire. There was never a walkover. It was always right down to the last turn, real tense, nail-biting stuff. And then each week we would kind of list tailor full-on competitive, but with lots of banter and shit. You know, it wasn't ultra serious. We were playing full-on competitive. We wanted to beat each other, but it was fun. You know, it was really fun, competitive, on the edge of your seat stuff, because the gloating and stuff from
the bragging rights for the win.
Right, I want a rematch tonight. He's like, I can't tonight, man. Right, tomorrow then we're having a fucking rematch because I'm going to have you, brother. And so whoever lost was desperate to get the next game in, and it was fun, man. It was fun. You know, a competitive sometimes gets it's seen as a dirty word sometimes these days.
Look, I think there's nothing wrong with playing competitively as long as both players know what type of game they're going to have beforehand. I think the problem you're going to have with competitive play is when someone blindsides you and you think you're going for like a friendly game or a narrative style game, and then they rock up and just
did do that to me when we had my one and only game of fantasy, and then I declared myself out of fantasy and got rid of all my stuff, and I was like, no, I'm not playing anymore. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Ruined it for me. Shouldn't have been such
that type of stuff. You've knocked something else out of my head I was going to say. You bollocks.
But me and Reroll Joe, we're like that. We're very competitive when we play each other. It's always, you know.
Oh yeah, I remember now. I used to play against some of my friends quite a lot in 5th edition, and they used to try and tailor their lists against me army. The problem they had was I had multiples of every single unit in the codex, and I'd go out of my way to play a totally different army every week. So they tailored the list against like boys one week, and then I'd come with the Dread Mob the next week, and then they tailored the list for that, and then I'd bring like 90 Storm Boys the next game or something.
I mean, you can do that, and it's so good.
I mean, it's not something that'll happen until you've got a large collection. But when you can do that, and your mate, they lose it. So you keep changing your army. I'm like, I know I do, because you keep.
That's why as well. Like, when you start to build up your army, say you get to that 2k mark, 3k mark, whatever, don't automatically just play those size games. Play 1,000-point games, and then so you can do that. If you've got like
a bit of variation,
and you've played a 1k game, the next game you play can be really different. So you can come. I mean, my last win against the Tau was much like that. I played against my good buddy with his Tau army, and I went at him with I think I was Goths. I played a Goth detachment and just had hordes of boys and knobs, and they got massacred. In the next time, he was kind of expecting me to do much the same, and I came at him with a Death Skulls Dread Mob, and he was like, wasn't expecting that. And he bought loads of like multi-shot, low AP, high volume of fire guns, and they were just pinging off Death Dread armor, and I was just pounding the fuck out of him with mech guns, and it was great. It was really good.
It's always glorious when it happens.
Crackle and Pop really did their job that day. That was the best performance them 3 guys ever put in. They just caused absolute fucking carnage, and it was beautiful. Right in the Tau's front lines and just split off in 3 different directions. There were bloody devilfishes exploding and crisis suits being ripped up. It was fucking glorious to behold.
It is fun when, you know, the death dreads hit the enemy lines. It's always fun.
It gets boring.
I used to love
Especially
that.
when it's against someone who's not got that much experience against orcs. You're like, all right, so it's a unit of 3. Yeah, but they're oh, you're moving them in different directions. Yeah, they're 3 separate things. Like, what? 3 of your units in battle here. All these shooter units you got here, they're all going to be very busy in a minute.
I'm going to be so shooty anymore, me.
You can forget looking at the boys down the other end of the field. You ain't going to be shooting at them for a while. You're going to be too busy trying to fucking not get your limbs sliced off. Or getting your head stomped into the ground. Oh, it's such good.
You know, they're given 2 arms for a reason. Sure, you only need 1.
Look at poke cactus. I think there's a bit of a spelling error here, but it's kind of worked by accident. I'm fine with comparative as long as you're not a dick. So you're saying you don't want to compare dicks? Is that what you're saying? I think he's saying he's fine with competitive as long as you're not a dick. But it does sound like he's talking about comparing dick sizes.
I thought the Orky player equivalent is like showing off painted collections anyway, so you know. Yeah.
Poke Cactus says fucking spell check. It kind of worked. Roxy Derivator says, can I judge? No, Roxy, because you'd have so many of them bloody certificates. Everyone's a winner.
There's 1 for you and 1 for you.
Everyone will be leaving with a sash. You know? You get your taking part trophy.
Participation trophy. Love
it. Poke says, no, we are all losers here. Hey, look, nerds. Losers, all right? Come on, steady on, man.
Speak for yourself, mate.
I mean, we are playing orcs, so we probably do lose a fair amount of the time, though, to be fair. I definitely do, man. I can tell you now that my my battle career in 8th edition is over, I can confirm I did lose more games in 8th than I won. I think I probably won about, I'd say 35% of my games, 40%. Yeah, I definitely lost more than I won in 8th. Which is annoying. I was starting to claw a few wins back towards the end. I'd have to check Joe's logbook. My opponent, Joe, he has a little black book and he records every game he plays, like what points it was, how many points were won each side, who won, who lost, and everything. He keeps a record. So I always say, well, where are we up to now? And he's like, right, it's 8-4 to me. I'm like, okay, I'm gaining on you. Like, it's quite good fun though to have maybe a look back and see all that. I just never bothered to do it because I'd note a couple down in a book and then lose the book. So
that's what I'm like, yeah. Or I'd forget to bring the book the next game, forget to write it down or something like that, you know what I mean? Sounds like you're deep in thought there.
Roxy says, y'all did your best. Still talking about judging the penis contest. Jude, Death Skulls are the best clan in terms of lore. I disagree. They are very cool, but it's down to personal taste. I still think, I mean, don't know so much about Ninth, but they probably are. I can't see what's changed much now. I think they're the strongest clan on the tabletop overall. They really are very fucking good. I would say Evil Sun's not too far behind because they're fucking good as well.
Why, sweet Jesus, did I fully assemble this before painting?
Scott says, yeah, I've been beaten a lot lately too. Unless I'm playing against Tyranids or something. Yeah, Tyranids always get a rough time of it. Like, you know, they've not been in a strong place for fucking years now.
Yeah, they really have been neglected, poor Nids. I've always liked them, but, you know, it's bad enough having one faction that's neglected, let alone 2.
I think I was watching another channel, and I can't remember who it was, but it was someone, they basically just, like I did in Fantasy, they just retired from the game. because they were sick of it. They were playing NIDS. I think it was their first army. They'd had some practice games and playing some bits, but they were playing Ultramarines with Girly Man, and they kind of knew the thing that you weather the storm in the first couple of turns, and then when you get in combat, you start kicking ass. And then they came into contact, and Girly Man just stepped in and just chopped through them all like they were nothing. And he was like, "Well, what's the point then? I understand that you're going to shoot the fuck out of me while I'm like rampaging across the board, but then when I get there, surely I should." And he was just like, "No, this game's bollocks." And I can't remember where I heard that little story. It was on a channel or something. I'm like, yeah, I can see why that would piss you off. Like, I mean, he's a Primarch, so he's going to be kicking some ass. But yeah, I kind of get it, and I think NIDS, they're probably like that. They kind of
maybe armies get neglected, man. They do.
Yeah, combat potential, but yeah. Well, I don't know how the other. You got other sort of builds. Is that what's the build they call Nidzilla? Where there's lots of big beasties and stuff. They do. There's a lot of like loads of carnifexes and stuff. And Poke Cactus says, "Fuck Hero Hammer." Oh, Rero Joel. Joe, he loves a bit of Hero Hammer. He loves it. I played a game against him, and he bought nothing but characters, and it was a fucking horrible game.
No, not a fan of it myself. I think that's why I've always been sort of drawn to horde armies. I prefer like troops, and you know what I mean. I think my problem is I was a traditional wargamer, but I never got into traditional wargaming. I wasn't, but, like I like Warhammer. Yeah, I like Warhammer Fantasy, but the aspects of Warhammer Fantasy I didn't like were magic, monsters, and fucking heroes.
See, I love all that aspect of it. I love, like, in the fantasy, the magic. I like the psychic powers. I like
Never. I've never liked psychic powers. I've never liked magic. Never. I've always thought it was bullshit.
Yeah, see, I've always liked a little bit about that, as long as it doesn't become too much.
I liked supplemental stuff, like if you were casting something and it boosted a unit. You know what I mean? Or maybe you slowed the unit down, or you did some damage. But I didn't. I didn't like someone cast a spell and it obliterates like so many units or whatever.
Yeah. It's a bit too overpowered. Yeah, firing the odd fireball here and there and picking off a few people and things is quite cool. But yeah, when it goes a bit much, so. Well, yeah, stay away from Thousand Suns, then, mate. You won't have a good time. You will not.
I've played Thousand Suns before. I'm probably due a game against them again. When the plague subsides. But
make sure you bring your weird boys. That's my advice there. Bring your weird boys.
We'll see how that goes.
And if they bring Magnus, throw your entire army against him and do not stop until he's dead. Ignore everything else. Kill that prick dead.
Doesn't sound like you're speaking from bitter experience at all.
Literally, I'm going by bitter experience and revenge that I had as well, and it was beautiful. But it meant, I think against it, I just literally threw the whole army just congregated on this one point and just surrounded him, and just even the Grops were getting involved. Everything, I threw everything in the kitchen sink at him, and then after a load of fucking weird boys hurling smite, war boss going in there, NOBZ, fucking boys, Death Dread, Grops throwing their tuppence worth in. Eventually he fucking dropped, and I was like, fucking yes, have that, you cunt. Oh, it was good. But you got to catch the fucker first, because he flies around the board on fucking wings. Yeah, he's to take down. He's got to be said, but it is doable. You just got to focus in on him. And then once he's gone, then you got to deal with the demon princes.
Yeah.
They're no slouches either.
Fun and games with that one. I had a demon prince chew through me war boss before, and then consolidate into me big mech, thinking he'd have a handy one. And so the big mech turned around and just bopped him on the head with the chopper, and it's like, "Yep, that's you dead, mate." Oh, it was funny. So funny, man. Because I used that strat, the one where it's like if your character dies, you get to attack with him.
Yeah.
I used that with the war boss, so he shaved a few wounds off.
Nice. Yeah, the weird boys. They're some of the strongest psychers in the game, actually, because we've got that beautiful buff which does hurt them sometimes. But where you, for every 10 boys within proximity to him, you get that +1 to your psychic rolls. It makes them very dangerous, actually, and you can deny the witch and stuff. You know, you've got so many psychic powers being hurled your way by the Thousand Suns, though. You got to, right, what does that one do? Yeah, no, I'll let that one slide. Go on, you do that one. Okay, what does that one do? Yeah, no fucking way. I'm gonna fucking deny the witch on that one.
Mate, that was 7th edition against me mate's Eldar for me, where I had 2 dice to deny the witch, and he was rolling like 16 power dice or something a turn. I was like, oh Jesus.
What does that one do? Oh, it spits out like D3 mortal wounds. Yeah, fuck it, go on, do it. What does this one do? Oh, it does for every model in your unit. Yeah, fuck that. Denying that fucker. No fucking way.
yeah, definitely.
Worst one he did on me was like, what does that one do? He's right, it halves your movement speed. Oh, fuck that, man. I need to be getting up the board. Like, fuck that. But yeah, they got some nasty shit. Roxy says, I need an orc boy with a kitchen sink now. Yeah. I can totally see you putting that in your army as well, Roxy. I can totally see you doing that.
Yeah, either a flash kit or a looter would have it. You know, you have the rig, and then there's like a kitchen sink stuck onto the back of the bed or something. Oh yeah, that's a kitchen sink that's like an ammo feed into his gun. It goes down like where it's full of bullets. Oh yeah, you could have a big neck with a... Yeah.
Well, one of them kitchen sinks with the fucking grinder thing in the plug hole, so they're just feeding the fucking...
Oh god. Be great, Craig.
She's laughing at that. I think she's sold on that one. Mortarian 2, says Scott. I've never faced Mortarian. I've never actually faced Death Guard, actually. No. Reroll
last edition.
Have a Death Guard army. He's got quite a few Death Guard, but he's never played them.
I think the only army I played and didn't really enjoy was playing against Tau, where they just sort of sat in the corner behind hills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With their Riptides. With like 9 or whatever amount of shield rounds. I'm like, oh my god, this game is boring.
Yeah, you gotta... Once you find that chink in the armour with Tau, you can get in there and cause... But it's difficult. But experience... there's a lot to be said for experience playing. You got to learn the other factions, and that comes from playing against them. You start learning, you know, what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are.
Oh, nowadays I just bring 2 Borna bombers and just fly them head forward into them. I wouldn't give a shit. Like, I just be like, meh.
Shield drone that, you prick. My way was, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna outshoot Tau. So that was my.
Oh mate, I was trying. I think I had like 2 units of 15 looters that were wrapped in the gruts. Or it was back when you could do the 10 looters, 15 looters into 1 unit. I did that.
Roxy says, Stevo, that's not PC. Don't know what I said. You'll have to remind me what I said. Jude Asprey, Death Guard are bastards to kill. They just won't die. Yeah, very resilient. Disgustingly resilient, in fact. High toughness, feel no pains across the board. Yeah. High armor saves. Yeah, real resilient fuckers. Bastards. I've watched some battle reports with Death Guard, and Roxy. I'm not even going to repeat what Roxy wrote, because you know damn well that's not what I meant, Roxy. But I like it. It's funny as fuck. But I'm not going to say it because it's going to be bad. Because someone will copy that little clip from the video, take it out of context, and go ban this guy.
Needs to be cancelled.
Yeah, cancel culture. They'll be after me. There'll be picket signs and that outside my door and stuff. Fuck that shit. I ain't dealing with that mob. Fool no. She says, you already said it. Yeah, true. It's already there, isn't it? It's on the internet now. It's done. That's me. That's my career fucked. My YouTube career is dead and buried there.
Swallow while it lasted.
Just as I'm finishing painting my army as well. Gary Houser's here. What's the crackle? Just home from work.
What's the story, Rory?
We've just been painting up some bits for our army, mate. Getting there. Everyone else is getting their hobby on. chatting about the soft drinks industry, tea and coffee, and chocolate. So pretty much business as usual. Roxy says Stevo has been redacted by the Inquisition. There you go. They'll be knocking at the door, the old PC police.
PC police.
They'll probably be busy dealing with Dread. I'll be fine.
Oh yeah, he's our distraction tactic. Don't worry.
And he'll take the flak right off me. They'll soon forget whatever I've said. Speaking of which, guys, make sure 1st of November you're checking out the War Boss channel, because we filmed our latest episode and it'll be up. And for what's more, the sound is good this time.
Hey!
I don't know whether that'll be a good thing. Judge for yourselves. But yes, there was much banter had. Trying to remember what we were even talking about. Oh yeah, lore. We were talking about
Resonance.
Orc psychic resonance, psychic powers, weird boys, psychic resonance, the warp, and all that good stuff. We were getting really into it. Dim had his monocle on in full force. He was there, loving it. So yeah, check that out on the 1st of November, guys, 9 p.m. Join us in the live chat premiere for that. Should be a good one. Roxy Derivative, Dread can't be a distraction if he isn't making videos. Very true, but
what a zinger there.
Proper like wind the knife in. He'll be watching that. You'll have triggered him. Dread's just as easy as Dim to trigger, actually. God, I'm giving out late tonight. But Dread is his PC is kind of, I think it's there now, probably at the time of saying this. He's building it, he's getting it built up, and he will be on soon. It's been a technology thing. A lot of it has been what's holding him back. So yeah, I would expect fairly soon, guys, quite a big return for Dread once he's in and on, and so it'll be good. We've missed him. We've missed his content.
He's been walking away in the background, all right.
Yeah, he's still there. He's still there. He's had other things to deal with and other stuff going on, but he's not forgotten about you all. He will be back, and we'll look forward to it. And I think you'll see a bit of a renewed sort of push with him once he's got that equipment all set up and that. I think he'll be really enjoying making the videos again and being able to do what he's wanted to do, what he hasn't been able to do. Roxy says, I have to give you all shit. Well, that's good. At least you spread it out evenly amongst the 4 of us. And all the viewers as well. You don't take any prisoners, Roxy. I mean, poor old Navani, whenever he's in here, you're just kicking him constantly. It's like kicking a puppy. It's horrible to watch sometimes.
And yet you can't look away.
She is brutal. Even in our Discord chats, Navani pops in, hey guys, she's like, fuck off. Oh, jeez. Poor old Navani.
Nothing wrong with a bit of tough love.
Yeah, there's tough love though, but she is going in dry. I mean, poor fucker. Poor fucker, I don't know what's hit him. All he wants to do is pop in and play a few chords on his guitar, and she's tearing him a new one. She says, no, Navani is my soulmate. Yeah, I know. You love him, really. That's why you give him such a hard time. Gary was using the pad without autocorrect. Even worse. 5 headers in here. I see him on your...
the Hobby Hangout.
Yeah, you can see, guys, if any of you missed it recently on Scar's channel, just the other day, he had 5 header on his channel.
2 Irishmen and 1 Hobby Hangout, that the world can only contain so much awesomeness in one place, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was good crack. For sure, going on and stuff, but... Listen, we know you have Irish heritage as well, you don't be giving me shit.
That's why I could know.
You're getting a free pass, but if anybody else fucking starts, you know what I mean, with these bad habits of yours...
Yeah, my granddad was an Irishman with a very strong, thick Irish accent. I always remember him talking to my cousin Nathan. It was always Nathan.
Nathan, your bollocks.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
I did live in Ireland for a short while as a youth with my grandparents.
What happened? You got evicted, did you?
Yeah, no, it was at a time my old man was raising me on his own, and he was working all kinds of shift patterns and stuff. So I went and lived with them for a couple of months over in Dundalk.
Dundalk. Oh, right.
Yeah. So I've been intending to go back over and visit actually, to sort of see the place and.
Well, not over the next 6 bleeding weeks, you won't. I tell you that much.
No. At some point in the future.
5 other dirty paddies.
Jude, I could fill in as the guy people kick around. I'm oftentimes an idiot. Well, Roxy's always happy to kick the shit out of someone verbally. Don't worry about that shit. Gary says, Dread, you're still among the living. Yeah, he's still there. He's still going. He'll come back and hit us with some stuff. Some dude says, hey boss, what's your opinion on blood axes? I started getting into the hobby because of orcs and love the lore of them and started painting. The Start Collecting box as blood axes. Love your content, by the way. Well, thank you, mate. Well, let me introduce you to my co-host here. Mr. Skarner is painting up, as you can see on the screen right now, blood axes, mate. Yeah, and he's all about the blood axes. So you'll find a link to his channel down in the description. Subscribe to him because we share this Bald Knob show over both our channels.
And enjoy the Battletech content.
Yeah, go over to see Blood Axes and see Battletech. But no, yeah, he's in terms of orcs, he's all about the blood axes.
Oh, there's where we paint and handle this.
If you in the rare occasion that he covers some orc content, you'll be spoilt there.
Yes. Well, I bought like a bolt action tiger, but I don't know if I want to do it up as a bolt action tiger or try and loot it. I think I just want to do it up as
loot it.
I think I just want to do it as a bolt action tiger. Will it not be too small? Plus, we don't have looted wagon rules in the codex, so like, what's the point?
Yeah, make it a gun wagon. Make it a gun wagon, or make it a big track with a super cannon, or
super cannon. It's a tiger tank. It's perfection. You don't need to ruin it, like.
Yeah, a bit restrictive though, isn't it?
What?
The old historical wargaming crowd, they can be a bit serious, can't they? Well, actually, I think you'll find that one didn't come into production until the later stage.
And like Space Marine players won't bitch at you about having the wrong mark of power armor in Horus Heresy. Well, I think you'll find Mark 9 wasn't used until post-Crusade.
It's sci-fi historical, isn't it? Horus Heresy. It blurs that line a bit.
No, because like 40k lore gets retconned all the time and isn't consistent. If you wanted sci-fi historical, play Battletech.
All right, Dim.
Yeah, I've been spending too much time with him. Just like lore. Oh, Jesus.
Actually.
Well, actually. Oh, these gruts. I think you'll find.
Oh, I wish he was here now. Can't help.
I'd be laughing, yeah. Oh, do you remember back in the day before you met Dim, you thought I was the negative one? Do you remember those days?
I remember before I met Dim, I watched him on your channel and I thought, who's this guy?
Who's this fucking prick? Where did he find him?
I'd see him on your episodes and you'd say, yes, I saw Stevo on your channel last week. So, well, let me just say, like, fucking hell, where did he get this guy from? Does he like anything?
He does.
God bless. He is a top bloke.
What's it Rivers and Backers like to say? God bless his hobnail boots, is it?
God bless Dim's hobnail boots, I'll tell you. He is a true gent. He is misunderstood by some of members of the community. Because I'll tell you what, that guy does really have a love for this hobby. He really fucking does. And I think sometimes when people say, "Oh, he's so negative and that," and I don't always agree with the stuff he says, but it is because he cares. He does care deeply. He absolutely loves this hobby. Not just 40k, just I mean the hobby in general, the wargaming, the modelling, all of it. And he knows his shit, man. He knows his shit when it comes to lore.
This is true.
He is a wealth of fucking knowledge, that boy.
This is also true.
I mean, it'll probably never get him anywhere in life, but
Poke was saying you only criticize things you like or want to be better. This is true, man.
No, I criticise Pepsi Max because it tastes like piss.
Yeah, but if it didn't taste like piss, you wouldn't criticize it.
Well, no, there is a version of it that doesn't taste like piss. It's just called Pepsi.
Well, there you go. But your missus doesn't drink Pepsi. Do you think she just doesn't drink Pepsi out of spite? No, she doesn't like it. I'm all right.
She tries a bit and she says like, "Oh, no, it's not nice." I'm like, "Oh, fuck off." Of course it is, don't it?
It's because she's killed all her taste buds off with the Pepsi Max.
Sweeteners and that.
Is she watching in the other room and giving you shit now?
No, it's I keep getting the windows open. Just it sounded like a fight going on, but it was actually someone's music playing out the car. God knows what. But I don't know if you've picked it up earlier on in the video. There was a drunk guy outside hurling some abuse at someone out. There's always something fucking. Some idiots going past the window, gobbing off. It's like I live in fucking Orc neighbourhood sometimes.
Right, yeah. As long as they're shooting their mouths off and nothing else. That's all that matters.
What's going on here? Jude says, you have the Forge World looted wagon rules. Sean Hope, historical or not, just loot it. Yes, I agree with Sean there. Loot that Tiger tank. Roxy Derivator says, female Spesh Marines. Can't go in there. They already have them, don't they? They're called Sisters of Battle. Brack the Warboss, Dim is a top bloke. He certainly is. Sean Hope, see, you want it better. And Jude says, I've been converting a Space Marine drop pod into an Orc flyer. That sounds pretty cool. I've seen drop pods converted into Gorkanauts and things. They look pretty cool. They're the right kind of shape for the bellies and stuff. An Orc sees a drop pod and goes, if we just bolt some legs and some arms on that and some dakka, we can stomp about in that thing.
God forbid you make an Orky drop pod. Could you imagine we had drop pods again?
An Orky drop pod, it's just a plane, isn't it?
A rock. Just a rock. That's it.
It's called an asteroid.
Yeah. Just a The Third War of Armageddon, I think Gazgul did that.
We have the best drop pods.
They're asteroids. Whoever survives pulls them. Happy days.
That's our drop pods. Space Hulks.
Yeah, that is well, man.
Fly that into the planet if you can, please.
Level a whole Imperial city, and then there you go. You've got a makeshift base.
Way to start an invasion of a planet, is there? We'll just hurtle a big fuck off Space Hulk into the planet.
Yep.
Yeah, loads of Orcs will die, but loads of them will die too. And fuck it, it'll be a laugh.
We're here to capture the manufactorums. What's the first course of action? Let's chuck a space hulk at it and see what happens. It's like, yeah! Best case scenario, we wreck it. Worst case scenario, the Imperials blow up when we get a free fireworks show.
Either way, we're going to have a zogging good time.
Poke was saying, I wish we had rock rules. We used to have rock rules in Apocalypse, Poke. If you brought... It was used to be able to use the joint dinner template. So this bad boy, I used to be able to use this, and it would scatter D6 feet, and pretty much anything underneath it died. So it was it was good enough. I think I need to do a bit of green stuff on his hand. It's a little detached, the little grot dude there. But
did they ever have like rock rules for like Battlefleet Gothic?
Yes, they are either you can have them as orbital static defenses, or let me get me Battlefield Gothic book. I don't know if it's in
the best thing is as well, fucking easy to make.
Oh yeah, good crack. I think I had a bash at them with styrene balls and just some plastic art details. I'll see. I think it might be. I'll check the blue rulebook. It might be that one, or it might be in the Armada book. I think it's in the Armada book. Yeah, because it's only pirates, space pirate fleet in the Raider fleet. So I think it was in the Battlefield Gothic Armada.
Well, I've already achieved a lot more painting tonight than I did on my stream last night. I've only got 3 dudes left to do on the skin side of things anyway, and this has been the most grindy part of all of it. The other bits aren't too bad.
So there's the rocks that they did in the book. They just show you like orc hooks. And
yeah, cool. How easy would that be to make?
Yeah, just like a lump of polystyrene and a lot of stuff
in
it.
A load of bits in it. Jobs are good. And
there's your rock. They're just like asteroids with engines and guns and stuff.
They look like
that.
third ed paint jobs on there as well.
Oh yeah, they do. Like, and then there's some of the battleships, like the Gorbag's Revenge. You know.
Cool. Good shit.
I used to always bring. I think it was Gorbag's Revenge. One of that was like the super fleet carrier. So it'd have shed loads of fighter bombers on it. And there was the Nids as well. I was always tempted by the Nids. But rocks. Yeah, so like orc rocks. She had like rules for space hulks as well. They were fun. They
never played Battlefleet Gothic.
Mate, you missed out. Like you missed out.
Yeah, I think I did.
You really did. We can like I've enough to play. Like.
Yeah, it'd be good to just have a try of it and see what it's all about, because there's still a community playing it to this day, isn't there? It's still.
Yeah, because I reckon a reboot, whatever reboot they do, they'll make a bollocks of it. There we go. You know what I mean? It won't be the same. Do you want me to read the description of it? It's like orc rocks. Orc rocks are basically large asteroids hollowed out and fitted with drives, guns, and crew quarters. The rocks are incapable of travelling through the warp. Any system containing orcs will quickly accumulate a growing number of rocks as the orcs build, in quotes, them at a prodigious rate. For example, in 147.M41, an Imperial cruiser force swept the Kalot system for orc pirates and destroyed 7 Escort class ships and 4 rocks. In 148.M41, another expedition encountered 21 rocks in the same system and was forced to disengage after the battle cruiser Stalwart Warrior suffered crippling damage and was in danger of being overwhelmed by orc boarding parties. Orc rocks are great fun because you can use them. They're terrible. They're not very maneuverable, but you can leave them in gravity wells of planets as defensive points, or space hulks generate their own gravity as well. So you could have a space hulk with orc rocks being towed by it, orbiting to cover its flanks. So yeah, orc rocks are fun. And play Battlefield Gothic if you get the chance. Fucking great game. It was probably my favourite specialist Games Workshop specialist game is Battlefield Gothic. Even more so than Gork and Walker. It's like, shh, don't tell them.
I mean, that's high praise indeed.
Poke is asking, can I throw those on Discord after the stream? What, do you want me to take images of it or something? I'm sure they give away PDFs for free. I'm sure you can. I'll have a look. There was a point in time, I think in around 2008, 2006, where Games Workshop gave away PDFs of some of their old specialist games. So you could get Gork and Walker PDFs. You could get Battlefield Gothic and stuff. I think it's when they stopped supporting specialist games that they managed to. Someone managed to get their arm twisted and they give.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that stuff's very easy to get hold of online now.
Yeah, definitely. Great crack.
So I'm sure if you search out through the Facebook and forums and stuff, I'm sure there's a community still out there supporting and keeping it alive. But yeah, I feel like it's a game that probably will be getting the reboot treatment at some point.
I reckon so. I reckon it'll get the reboot treatment and they'll deal what they did with
especially when they've seen the success of games like this X-Wing and stuff. like the Star Wars. They've probably seen that there's still a market out there for that kind of thing.
Well, this is it. But the only thing I think is that they'll redo the ships, but they'll be bigger again, because that's it. It's what they seem to be doing with a lot of them, which won't really matter for the old game, because the ships are just the visual. The actual part of the game that matters is the base size, and like when you're measuring, it's because they use the flying stands. So the top, the stock of the flying stand is the actual important part. Like, you can play the game with no ships, just with like names of ships.
They kind of dip their toe with Aeronautica, didn't they? They've sort of done that.
Yeah, but they've done it with Aeronautica. They upscaled, and then they did it with, what's the bleeding Titan game called? Adeptus Titanicus, is it? Well, that's like redone in a different scale as well. So I reckon if they did Battlefleet Gothic, they'd do it in a different scale. They'd do it in a bigger scale.
They probably wouldn't want to do it in the same scale, because they're just people are just going to use their old models.
See? How very cynical of you, Stevo. Yeah. It's almost like they want to force people to buy more miniatures.
There you go.
We know them too well, mate. We really do.
We certainly do.
That's gas. No, it's if they rebooted it and left the core rules, even the campaign rules were really good, then it would be.
You know, shit's bad when the positive ones being
when the positive one's being cynical.
Hang on, he's the one that.
Hold on a minute. He's supposed to be the cheery bastard. Alexander Warren's shown up. What's the crack, bud? He's missed out on 2 hours of stream. I know, man. We know the notifications on YouTube are bleeding garbage at the best of times. They really are.
It just means you can have fun watching it at your own pleasure, at your own time.
This is it. You can see his hand.
Stick us on any time of day. Go back and watch some of our older episodes as well. You know, I'm proper plugging shit now, man.
Yeah, that's
through the play. Find the old episodes. We've got a few corkers in there. And stick them on and listen to our sultry tones as you paint your Gitz.
One would like to think that our shows have improved over time, but you know.
Yeah, it would be.
Not making any promises. But...
the particular highlight, I think, was the 3.5 hour fucking Codex
review. Oh Jesus, yeah.
It wasn't even a review, was it? It was basically a complete fucking
we read. Yeah. Oh, we'll make a video, but I love how like we were optimistic. We'll make a video, but we'll try and keep it so it's not like 4 hours and it's like 3.5 hours later. Jesus.
Luckily, when we did the Saga of the Beast review, we wanted to do the same thing, but we said we'll split it. We'll do a video on the lore section, and then we'll do the rules on another one, so we could split it into two. And they still ended up being fairly lengthy.
They're really weird, man.
Would have won first prize in that competition, Roxy. There you go, see.
They're really weird. But yeah, I do wonder what they're going to do with the Orc Codex. Are we going to see a large change and stuff? And what's this Orc community secret thing that we keep seeing? Do I have them here?
I don't know.
It's like
a secret thing.
The Orc miniature they keep showing. It's like the Games Day Knob, I think. Someone sent it to me.
You mean what? You mean the?
No, don't know where it is.
Roxy says what competition? The penis competition, Roxy. What was we were talking about earlier?
Jesus.
I think I said something about the content being quite lengthy. Scott Litziger, still mad Ragnar managed to cut Gaz's head off. Yeah, we got stitched back on, so no, I'm done.
Yeah, not the end of the world.
Just imagine what Gaz is going to do to him when he gets his hands on him, his claw on him. What are you two painting tonight then? This is how it sounds like. Well, I've been working on my tank busters, mate. The final squad of my painted army. And Scar is working on his commandos. He's got a handful of commandos and a couple of characters to do. And so we're both about the same level here. He's got about the same amount of miniatures. I've got a 15-man squad.
The last stretch of our armies that are being painted up is what we're up to.
We're on it. We're on it.
Those and Sneakraw.
Poke Cactus says that war boss looking bad mood we saw with the squig arm. Yeah, well, we don't know he's a bad mood, maybe we don't know he's a war boss. We don't know what he is. It could be anything.
I'll have to have a look.
We've got that. We've also got the fur-lined boot.
Yeah, I reckon that's going to be a resculpted Games Day knob. We'll probably see that around Christmas.
And I imagine if it hadn't have been because of the lockdown and stuff, we probably would have seen some of this stuff by now. But I think the whole schedule got fucked, and because it's rare for GW to bring out a rumor mill picture and then just have nothing about it for like a year. Like you usually see something a few months later. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have something. I imagine it probably be some stuff that comes alongside the new codex. I imagine. Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if we get. It'd be nice if we don't just have a codex. It'd be nice if we get a codex along with some new shit.
Goodies.
It'd be good if they start releasing some stuff for us again, because then I can get back on that hype train. It's been too fucking long, man. It's been sitting in the station just collecting fucking dust. I mean,
you've been missing, tilting that horn and driving it headlong off that cliff.
I mean, if you want to spur me on making some videos, man, that's your shit. Get GW to start releasing some shit and sneak peeking stuff, and I'll be fucking covering it and getting very excitable. Building myself up for some disappointment. That's what it's all about. Boop, boop. Yes, mate. Gary says, you see Gear Guts Roxy sculpt? I did. I was having a bit of input in that in the Discord. I think we all were. I was trying to get him to put pigtail hair squigs on. But I think she said she was going to green stuff them on. But yeah, it looked really cool. It was me who suggested the leg, because he said, do you want a Barnick leg? And I said, right. I said, remember the movie Planet Terror with the chick with a machine gun for a leg?
Yeah,
and I said in the Discord, I said, you got to give her like a shooter or a big shooter or whatever as a leg. And yeah, he's done. She's got a shooter leg, which is just cool as fuck. Roxy says, I was there too, just really drunk, laughing my ass off. Yeah, well, don't worry, Roxy, I filled in. I said, listen, I know Roxy, I know what she'll like. It'll be fine. Throw this shit on there. And,
gun for a leg, what's not to like?
Yeah, who's going to turn their nose up at that? Any orc worth their salt would love that. Gun for a leg? Nice, I'll have two. Just don't expect me to walk on any slippery floors or whatever.
So did you get much progress done yourself?
I did, man. I've gone over the skin on all but 3 of them.
Nice.
But I think I'm pretty much calling it a night there, and I'll do those 3.
I think I'll get to that stage now as well. I'm going to do the base on the 5 of these in Ashen Grey, and then I think I'll call it a day myself until another stream. I managed to get some skin done.
I really am almost there though.
The grots. I forgot that there was a grot on this. I got the base layer on him. I got the base layer on the Weird Boy's grots as well, and the Weird Boy's skin and Sneak Rot. So I've actually, we've been, Jesus, how long have we been streaming now? Nearly 3
Longer
hours.
than we intended. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to bring it to a close. It's been a pleasure, guys, chatting to you all and doing hobby stuff. Lost my train of thought there.
Starting to crash and burn.
Like I said, yeah, it's been longer than intended. But you guys do that. We always have fun chatting with you guys and doing this stuff. And yeah, it's been quite a while since we've done some Bald Mob stuff, so it's been good stuff.
Yeah, it's been good catching up. Yeah. Like I said, some time off, so you never know. You might get another episode out of us. You know.
Yeah, I might maybe a hobby hangout. I'll come and appear on the hobby hangout.
We might do. might get another one of them in. That's it. Might do a hobby hangout, and we'll go from there. So it's good.
Thanks all. Remember to, if those of you who are not, subscribe to both of us so you don't miss any more of these Bald Knobs episodes. Hit the likes, share it with people, all that other shit, you know.
Yeah, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you in another one.
6plus, signing out.
Don't forget to drill your barrels.